Okay, well, welcome to the Waterbowl Premier League Final between Alex Barbano, Ringbeard. If you just heard any soft and sultry northern vowels, that was the sizzler. Yeah, so Alex Barbano, Ringbeard with his GRISSENWALD Gravediggers, who are Necromantic and very much the favourites in this game, versus Matt Shaw, Moysie, with his little big heads, who are Dwarves. I'll run you through the teams in a second. On commentary this evening, there's me, Alex Leipziger, and there's
Robert, Barney the Lurker, Barnforth.
and we'll have Adam Berry, also known as the Beanbag, joining us in a little bit.
He's just currently enjoying his tea. He is actually enjoying it very much, so he was struggling with his shorts.
So yeah, we're just getting through the roles, and it looks like it's the Dwarves to receive. Oh, it's quick, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it's the Dwarfs to be receiving.
To receive
That looks like a kick-off set up from Alex on the left-hand side of the screen.
And I can run you through some of the highlights of their teams. Alex's team is pretty well developed.
I don't know if you can tell quite well on the early fumble from Alex there. A lot of the skill rings are quite standard for the UK Blood Bowl, so you can see any green is guard, any blue is block, any yellow is tackle, and any red is mighty blow.
Is white wrestle?
I believe white is wrestling.
Okay. And as you can see from the bottom of the screen, once the ball is kicked, we're going to have a magenta circle just marking it. Let us know in the chats how that's working. It's just something we're trialing for this game. So yes, on Alex's team, he's got a couple of skilled up wolves, one with block and dodge, one with block, mighty blow and tackle. He's got two skilled up flesh golems, one plus strength and block, and the other one is block and guard. And then with his whites, there's one with tackle guard, one with guard. There's a guard wrestle ghoul and a block sure hands ghoul, and then in the line fodder in the zombies there's a guard zombie. Matt has got.
Matt's got more of a traditional sort of dwarf team. I was having a quick chat to him before the game. It is very boring, very static, but very dwarfy. So I believe there's 7 guards knocking around. He's got a couple of highlights. So he does have a strength 4 lineman who is only armor 8. He's also got a strength 4 blitzer as well. And we're also looking at a tackle mighty blow from one of the slayers. And on his 2 runners, they're both blockers. One's a blodger and one's got a kick-off return as well.
And that blitzer with plus strength has got mighty blow as well.
So they've got quite a good few blitzing options from either side. It's looking like early on it's just a few pushing and shoving on those line zombies while Matt secures the ball. Or actually, it's a lot of dice rolls, but early on he's not made any efforts to secure that ball yet. So one unlucky dice roll, it could all come crumbling down. So let's see how we get on.
So from the 2 players, Matt is a bit more of a risk taker. He's just taken off a.
It looks like it's a knockout on his zombie.
Yeah.
That's always a nice start. And you see, looks like someone's contemplating a blitz now by the looks of things.
And we're now joined by Adam as well.
Hello!
And how would your tea? Was it nice?
It was lovely. Devonport's finest. Chips and curry sauce.
It is one of the best shops I've been to, I'll be honest with you.
It's a Tuesday classic. So what have I missed?
Matt has just taken a zombie to the kick-off box.
The kickoff box?
The kick-off box, a new thing we've invented for this game.
Just for the final. Yeah. It's all about innovation, isn't it?
That's it. You know, the Waterbowl likes to lead. Yes, the KO box. It's going to be a long 2 hours or so, isn't it?
That's another arm break, by the looks of it.
Just on this time now.
Yeah. And Matt does like to roll a lot of dice. He's very aggressive.
Please pick up.
That's
That was a 3.
Yes,
Successful. If that's a runner, of course.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's a runner.
obviously you can see at the top of the pitch that Matt likes to put his re-rolls out and then take them off as they use. So he's got 4 for this half, and Alex will place his onto the track as he uses them, and he's got 3.
Matt only had 3 re-rolls, so that suggests that the kick-off result was one of the assistant coach or the running coaches and cheerleaders.
That makes sense. I think that place in the turn markers on the turn you use them was a fairly new kind of development from what I've seen. It's but you know, 6 of one, half a dozen of another, whatever you fancy, as long as you're clear with your opponent, doesn't matter.
Our traditionalists like to start at the top and move downwards, but you know.
Yeah, back when we were playing Bloodbowl in the caves, just putting the stone out as you use them.
I always had trouble keeping the fire lit in the caves.
Yes. Which is very much a good preparation for Flame Bowl.
Deprive one of your senses, and you're all good.
It's like Alex has got his big right arm of doom out and he's contemplating how to engage.
Yeah.
So have we run through the teams?
Yes, yeah, we've been through the
They are
highlights.
quite fearsome, aren't they?
Yeah, so Alex's team with that strength bonus golem and lots of guard is a bit of a roadblock.
Just a bit. And have you guys picked out any players in particular you're going to keep an eye on?
I think the big one in the early few turns is, as far as Alex is concerned, that Mighty Blow Wolf. And if he can get into a few dwarfs and cause some trouble,
Well, quite.
especially as there's already one zombie down.
He's going to need better armor rolls than he enjoyed in the semi in this game. So when I played him in the semi-finals, my Skaven were quite fortunate that very few of them left the pitch. And then in the second half, I think 3 of the skill positionals for the Necros were off by the end. So if he has that kind of night against the Dwarves, it's going to be harder going.
Extremely difficult, yeah. Of course, that's a danger with teams like the Skaven. If you can't reduce their numbers, they will punish you.
In terms of qualification for the playoffs themselves, Alex was very much one of the number 1 seeds. I don't think he lost at all.
No, I think he was one of the...
Him and Core?
Core, in the regular season. I think there's only 3 players who didn't lose a game.
Yeah, whereas Matt Shaw was our lucky loser, our wild card. One of the 4th place teams got through, and although Matt lost a fairly bruising encounter in the last round of the regular season and conceded about 7 casualties, he made it through and has made the most of that.
Certainly has. Just looking at his roster, it's I played Matt in my first or second game of the season, I think. Obviously, you know, brand new teams, you don't seem to see development early on, but he's come on leaps and bounds since then.
It's like a series of unlucky blocks on Alex there, which is
Just a little bit, isn't
a
it?
combination of pushes and dual downs.
Fortunately for the listeners, Alex isn't mic'd up, so you won't be able to pick up on his bleating from here.
You will see if there's a double skull, reroll double skull at any point, I think the table would go over, so that could be a good indication of his mood.
It's usually a sign of some kind of frustration, isn't it, I think? Upending tables.
It seems interesting that Alex is not worried too much about leaving that flank open, although it's there, you know, just remember it is just dwarfs we're playing against, so it's not elves which can just do a big jump down the flank, but I say with a player like Matt who likes to take a few chances, could that be something he's looking for?
Well, looking at the positions there, Matt didn't make too many strides into consolidating very early on. I know it was a fairly wide kick, so dwarves cannot capitalise on short kicks at all, really. But he's still fairly loose at the back there. A lot of his players seem to be tied up over towards the left middle.
Thinking that, yeah, so I seem to tie a good 3 dwarfs on the on this bottom of the screen. So with his superior movements, that looks like a double down to.
Yeah, but skull both down.
He's keeping it. But of course, a team like Dwarves does not really suffer from having contact left with them between turns. They know they can hold their own. So I don't think that will overly worry Matt, particularly with his strength buffs as well, and plenty o' guard.
And a nice bit of frenzy on both teams in this game.
Yeah, it's going to make things very interesting in those wide zones, isn't it?
Didn't realise that, of course, they've all got 2 friends on each side, so it could be interesting in those wide zones.
Particularly if minds tire or a bit of panic sets in.
Well, it's a pressure cooker over there already. I think I can hear the sweat.
Yeah, I can see it. I mean, items of clothing are already being removed.
Well, that's standard anyway for the Waterbowl League, so you can't really use that as a barometer of pressure.
That's true. It is in the handbook, to be fair. We've had a few big upsets in the playoffs, but has to be said that Matt defeating Core in the semi-finals was probably the biggest.
Probably the biggest, yeah, definitely. Core coming into the league as world number 1 or world number 2 at least. Since obviously we've had a bad effect on him because he's dropped a couple of places, but coming in that high, we fully expected him to come in, dominate, take the trophy, and then maybe move back to Denmark. But yeah, the semi-final defeat was a real shock.
I mean, the whole reason that the Waterbowls funded his move to Reddish was to stop Alex winning any more titles.
Oh, there's a 1 being thrown there by Matt with some movement, but he recovered that with a reroll, so that's avoided a turnover, which I think at this point would have been difficult.
Yes, because he's very open at the back there.
Yeah, he's with the increased movement from Alex's team. Any gaps like that, where if it goes wrong, could be exploited.
You can see that. I mean, Alex's finger got round the back very easily there.
I know that was a really slack move from Matt there. Letting Alex's finger wander across the board.
Textbook Barbano.
Textbook. So yeah, going back to Call though, the upset did make a very big difference to kind of the expectations of this game.
Oh yes, definitely. So yeah, we're in the terrible position that Alex may double up. He's already our Veterans League champion for this season, and for the sake of Blood Bowl and all that is holy, a match sure victory here would be.
Well, he's been coined the People's Champion.
Yeah, the People's Champion. Yeah.
He's been coined the People's Champion. So obviously, a lot of people out there, I think, are hoping for a nice story.
Yeah.
A good game and a nice story.
It would certainly help the movie rights.
But I don't think anybody could take away any kind of double title from Alex, because he's actually played an absolute blinder in both leagues.
And in the vets, he was he's 2-time champion back to back.
True.
Which is Sizzle was in that position coming into this season, but took Chaos Pact.
I know, almost shooting himself in the foot there with a bombardier.
But he is though in the other Waterbowl final taking place tonight, the Champions final, which is a 4-way Dungeon Bowl
gasm. Can only be described as a Dungeon Bowl gasm, I think.
Yeah, absolute carnage. So a block coming here from Alex. Got Pal.
Like a pound something.
Don't worry about replying to that one, but that's the chat.
So what the Alex looks like he's doing is attempting to open up that gap to exploit. If he can't actually even quite make, attempting to sack the ball carrier, he could certainly get a player around the back and tag him. Dwarves are notoriously bad at recovering from being split up and tagged. So they could be attempting that, or if I can't tell exactly what those models are in the middle, but if he's got either of the pacey ones, he could potentially make it.
Yes.
I think it looks like it's going to block dodge wolf in the middle there.
Yeah.
I think it could be. I think that's the dodging wolf in the middle.
Obviously, the only issue there is the frenzy.
Yes.
Whether or not he has the movement to go for the second block, or whether he can actually eke it out and just have the one. But very quickly, it's got very messy over there on
really
that top flank, isn't it?
And our semi-final took a very similar pattern in the first half. The Skaven found themselves boxing up in the same side of the pitch and being tagged up, and that led to the turnover, which gave away the winning touchdown.
Yeah. Little power there for Alex.
Yeah.
That looks like a big armour break. That could be crucial for dwarves.
I feel again,
And
you notice
wasted all his pips.
he rolled a bit too much for the second roll, which then, as a result, gets you the lower dice. You need to don't shake in the cup for too long, otherwise it does affect the dice.
That's it, yeah, you rub the numbers off.
And of course, we talked about the wide tones earlier, but obviously Alex's golems have the stand firm skills, so that may give him a bit of an advantage, obviously, in the outside line.
Yeah, Alex has definitely positioned his golems.
Oh, and we have
Well,
an
that's tantamount to vandalism there.
You've got to take whatever advantage you can get in this game, haven't you?
But yeah, his golems are in. Obviously he's taken that decision specifically to keep them wide, to try and pen the dwarves in. But with this push down one flank, it might have actually left that golem isolated a little bit. So whether he's just going to use that as a pinning mechanism for the rest of this drive, I don't know. So we're talking about the lower golem there, seems a bit isolated, not in contact with any dwarves. It's going to take a while to catch up with the rest of the play, so whether Alex moves that golem in and just sticks him on dwarves and just bullies those dwarves, hopefully for him, out of the game.
I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but I believe the other golem, the last
Here comes
the scrub, is a strength 5 as well.
Very true.
Yeah, he's an absolute nightmare.
This looks like it is the attack Alex was working on. There's a wolf coming in, push down. So yeah, he's choosing. Well, is he going to choose to put the ball into the scrum or leave himself vulnerable a bit closer to the wide?
He goes to the second block and he gets another double push. He's then in contact with 2 dwarves, or if he goes to the sideline, it is just a 1 dice to the second block.
And I can't see whether or not there's a troll slayer in range there.
No, can't make it out at the moment. I think there's a troll slayer just to the top of the central logo.
Ah, yes.
Recognise that leaping.
Definitely a troll slayer there, yeah.
Okay, so following up could be very risky for that wolf. I think he has to with the frenzy.
Not sure if Alex has taken the decision yet or not.
Yeah.
Of course. Oh, he has.
He's gone for the push. He's going to take the second 2 dice to get that bite of the second bite of the cherry.
Makes sense.
If he can still get 2 dice, he might as well. Even if the ball bounces somewhere. Yeah, it's a bit of a lottery with all those players. No, he's deciding against it, maybe.
He just wants to try and keep 2 on his toes to see if he can keep that ball centrally on the big oil.
Yeah, we've got Tim from Element Games keeping an eye on the graphics.
And more importantly, keeping an eye on us.
Yes, more importantly.
So I think what's happened is that it was a push both down, so I'm assuming Alex took the both down, so hold in place. He wasn't happy with either the 1 dicer or indeed if he wanted to push it, just get the dwarf closer to his cage. At least as he is now, he's got two players on that dwarf, so he's going to have to trample both those off to try and get that ball safe.
The issue here would be, do you try and engineer that chain push, wherein you can block squares off and blitz one player away, chain pushing into another, or do you attempt a more risky dodge, but leaving your other players more in better positions for the rest of the drive, rest of that turn?
I think if I was Matt, I think I probably would go for the chain push. I would pull.
Same here.
He's got quite a clear guard right on the sideline. If you pull him back round, and that Slayer would be in a prime position to hopefully, even a double push would clear both those 2 guys off him.
Yeah, having that guard central in that little scrum would be key, wouldn't it? Looks like he's consolidating slightly. I don't think he's considered the chain push.
So is that 2 out? 2 pushes? Oh, power. Okay.
Oh, so he's gone for a blitz.
He's got in with his strength 4 blitzer by the looks of it, which is not a nice advantage to have. And it looks like he may well be blocking with the ball carrier now, just to...
Quite nice to single push though, and we'll then be able to get the slide to push, gently push him off.
Yep.
So he might have to be careful not to leave himself open.
Well, he's eschewed that,
So he's going for it.
So he's not maximising his blocking game there as a dwarf, but he's obviously just looking for...
Right.
Yeah,
looking for just a solid position, get the dwarves back around the ball.
I think that's right. You can just try and consolidate his position for a turn or 2, maybe a few more blocks, and hope for a lucky chip on maybe another zombie, or if we can get one of the whites or even one of those deadly wolves down. So I believe that's the bludgeon wolf that was sent into the blitz. And I think
it was, yeah, because Alex attempted the dodged across the tackle zone to get there. So
I think you can see right at the far left at the top, there's a white and a red. I think that's probably going to be his other, the mighty blow.
Mighty blow tackles, yeah.
Alex obviously decided to try and keep that in reserve.
Well, I mean, as sweepers go, a mighty blow tackle wolf is not bad. Is
No,
it?
not at all.
It's certainly a nice one to have.
I think as somebody who is almost half blind this evening, I think for future streaming, I'd possibly recommend perhaps a clearer definition on the dice.
I think I think the block dice. I mean, I have certain issues with the new range of block dice that come out with the themed, the Skaven theme, and the Dwarf theme. I don't think they're particularly clear. But they're pretty in the nice colours. So.
And if you do want any of the dice, they are of course available from Element Games at a very reasonable price. Please, Tim, give us some more money.
We have had a message from one of our listeners saying that he will kindly sponsor some money if we give his mum a shout out. So Dan Atherton, also known as D for Dan, one of the hosts of the Double Skulls podcast.
Some might say the more accomplished host.
Them's fighting words. Can't go to Derby now. So big shout out to
go to Derby anyway. That's the big question.
I've heard lovely things about Derby.
Like people who've been to Derby.
Actually, in terms of Derby, there was talk of perhaps another edition of the tag team Bloodbowl tournament happening possibly this summer.
Oh yeah.
I know that Longstride Liam has been busy with Waterbowl and Two Drunk Flings and the Iron Golems launch of their halfling team. So whether that's still going ahead, I don't know. But if it is, I would recommend that as a really fun day out.
Oh, okay, so it looks like while I've been talking, I haven't been paying any attention to what's going on, but it looks like we're now to Alex's turn. The block guard in column, I've just had a quick walk into the middle.
Yeah, well, keeping one eye on it, it looked that there was an armour break for Matt. Seemed to be a zombie or something on the floor, but I think his other blocks didn't make any headway at all. There might even have been
There is a KO.
Second KO, yeah.
So if any of our spectators would like to tell us what happened to remove that other player to the KO box, that would be really helpful.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be that important. We'll just.
Well, he's got. It looks like he's got two skills. Possibly.
Potentially.
Unless
it could be.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Alex's system seems to be white for tackle, but it could be wrestle. Could be a wrestle.
So it's either
it's a white that's been knocked out, so I don't think it's wrestle. I think it might be.
Is it tackle white?
Okay, so
tackle
guard white. So given.
So that's 2 players down for Alex already, which.
Could be some important KO rolls at half time.
Certainly, and again, I think it does look to be in quite a strong position at the moment, but can he sort of maintain it against these dwarfs if he keeps getting those chips?
Yeah, well, we are in the middle of the necro turn, and it does seem to me that there's 1, 2, 3 dwarves on the floor, possibly even. Which, and with players still to move, I think. Even with that white KO, those dwarves on the floor are a real issue. So this is the ball carrier. Oh, this is just see Alex now. Obviously, has chosen to tag and use his frenzy to remove dwarves. The quickest way to injure them is to bypass their armour altogether. Let the crowd do it.
Yes.
And that looks like a. Well, that would be. Yep. I think school works even with the crowd.
Okay.
I can almost see the disappointment on Alex's face as he realises. He's
now deciding. Obviously, with a frenzy player, you can't. Blitzing is often the best way of keeping them safe. So close to the edge.
obviously, if you're in or around Stockport or Manchester and keen to play some League Blood Bowl, the next Premier League season will be starting on April the 10th. So do
What is
go
the
over
best way to get involved?
Funny you should ask that, Barney. I was going to say, come over to the Facebook group is probably the best way. Or if you're not on Facebook, you can contact me on Twitter. So I'm at Wormito on there.
That's WORMITO.
But I will share the link for the Facebook group in the chat on the Twitch stream in a moment.
So while we'll leave Alex to do a little bit of social media admin, me and Barney will just concentrate on the hot action going on here. It looks like Alex Ringbeard is still considering what to do with what can only be described as just a nuisance of a player,
Yes.
a block dodge wolf. For himself and the dwarves, I imagine.
Yeah, obviously he wants to get in close to the dwarfs, but obviously if you try and cage up too close around his player, as you said earlier, with the chain pushers, you can easily remove one or two of the necromantic things.
Very true. So the temptation now, obviously, with that wolf in the backfield, with a sweeper, with that two dwarves off the dwarf off the pitch and Matt's formation kind of falling apart. The temptation now is to get that crowbar of a wolf in and start attacking those dwarves. Get that mighty blow claw, tasty mighty blow claw combination on the go. But he's gone to close the gap, hasn't he? There, I think. Yeah. Try not to leave too many one-die blocks open because Matt is, as we said already, he's not shy of using the dice.
Speaking of which, these are 2 dice from Alex.
Oh, it's like there's a power in there somewhere. We can see that.
Strength 4 dwarf, so that's a nice one to get down.
Yeah, straight up one-die block. That was, wasn't it? Yep. Worth a go. I think in this position he's.
Let's see what we get. Ooh,
It's an 8, not quite enough. Of course, sometimes you kind of forget. Sometimes there are 4 players on the dwarf team and armor 8, so they're not the invincible team that a lot of people kind of consider them.
I don't know if that was his blitzer, but Matt does have a lineman which is strength 4, but he is also armor 8 as well.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
That's always one of the armor breaks on the dwarf team. You just can't get rid of a strength 4 player at all.
Not exactly a glass cannon, but maybe made of some kind of
Some sort of hardened glass.
hardened glass, tough pottery. Doesn't have the same ring to it, does it? Pottery cannon. Just sounds like you got a bit crazy in the potter's wheel. So it looks like it's on to the dwarf turn 4 now, approaching halfway through the first half. Dwarves back on their feet, but Alex has done a very good job of splitting that dwarf team right down the middle, which is going to make it very difficult for Matt to recover.
I think at this point, Matt's obviously wanted to try and get it safe, but it's quite difficult to see where the cage would fall. I think everything looks like it's. He's got one first player.
Well, there appears to be.
Everything else does appear to be in contact with something else.
Yep. And that's not a good place for a dwarf coach to be in at the beginning of their turn.
So I think there could be some form of dwarf dodge at some point.
Possibly. Well, I think his runner's got dodge, hasn't he?
There's at least one of them has dodge.
Yeah.
So whether he picked up with the dodge or with the kick off return, it'll be interesting to see.
So there's obviously some thinking going on here. With guard in the mix as well, with both teams fairly guard heavy, you get stuck in this kind of scrum and it can be a nightmare trying to figure out who's got the assists.
It is a huge nightmare for games like this with so much guard around.
So they're just considering their options. So Alex, did you manage to direct anyone across to the Facebook page?
Yeah, that's now. You can now find that link in the chat.
Fantastic.
On the Twitch stream.
So if you search for the Waterbowl on Facebook, you'll probably get quite a few hits.
Yeah, Waterbowl Manchester though.
Yep.
Certainly bring up the group.
So the Waterbowl Manchester, and then there are 2 pages, one for the Premier League which is the final you're watching right now. And then there's the Veterans League. The difference between the two is Premier League start off with brand new teams every season, TV 100 or slightly less depending on what you go for. Whereas the Veterans teams, you can carry over existing teams from previous seasons, either previous Premier League teams or previous Veteran League teams. And that's a way for players to play with their favourite teams, or they don't fancy starting from scratch, or they just want some pick-up games. And they just come along. It's a much more casual setup in the Veterans League.
And the Vets has also been quite good because we've got some people who live a reasonable distance from Manchester but still like to come up and play now and again. So like Dalfort, who's down sort of south of Congleton.
Yeah, it's Cheshire way, isn't it? Yeah. And of course the aforementioned Dan Atherton. Hello Dan Atherton's mum, if we didn't do the proper shout out. Comes up from Stoke occasionally. He was due to be with us tonight but couldn't make it. I think he would have brought a professional shine to the commentary team with his experience on the podcast.
Also, he's very shiny.
And he's very shiny.
Very, very shiny.
Very shiny. So Barney, while we've been gas bagging, what's Matt been able to pull out of the bag?
Not too sure, Adam. I've just been on Facebook myself, just having a look.
Ah, well there you
There's
go.
a casualty there, isn't there?
Oh, that looks like that block might tackle Mighty Blow Wolf. Has gone off the pitch there, which is a very interesting. That's a casualty. That doesn't seem to have been a.
It's a mighty blow.
That doesn't seem to have been regened.
Alex Wormhole, of course, the king of the puns, and any sort of wordplay he does like that.
Yes. These
there's some bit of dodge going on.
Yeah, these puns are available to order, so do hit me up on Twitter for all your punning needs.
Yep, so what we saw earlier from quite a strong position. With that Mighty Blow taken out, and again, obviously, he's a Necro, so he's a failed to regen, so that's
It's a double whammy, isn't it? Yeah.
And that's, sorry, Brian.
Just going to say, it looks like Matt's taken the hook by the line, and he's gone for the big dodge from the runner. It looks like he's made it, and he's just run straight through that line. Obviously now with the Dark Wolf out with the frenzy, the other one, as we saw earlier, is right back in the middle of his line, so it's quite hard for him to be able to affect one less thing to worry about with the canal surfs.
And obviously with
So here comes another dodge, I think, to free up players. Has it worked for the Dwarf?
Yep.
Obviously, possibly an agility 3 blitzer there. Makes it a little bit easier.
that's nice.
I think the phrase you were looking for was taking the bull by the kettle of fish there.
That's the one I was entirely looking for.
Obviously Necro can take losing a couple of players if it's the zombies, but having 2 key positions off and 1 out is an absolute killer.
2 of his 6 side 3 as well, so
Yeah.
we
It looks like it's a double both down there again for Alex.
Yeah.
Or at the very least.
It's not disastrous for him, but
No.
you want the pushes because it's just not doing any favours at all against Dwarves. It's just staying in position, which is keeping it to his hands, really, isn't it?
I'm just going to remind myself of Alex's roster, see how many blocks he's got, because obviously he's facing an uphill block battle against Dwarves.
I think pretty much everything apart from the zombies have actually got
Yeah,
blocked
I
now.
think so.
Yeah.
I think
You might be
one
right
of the
there.
ghouls maybe a wrestle, but
Yep, he's blocked up both wolves, both golems. The whites come with blocker standard, obviously. He's got a block on a wrestle ghoul, and he's got 3 vanilla zombies. So obviously he'll be looking at throwing his blocks with his block players first.
and obviously the wrestle one could be absolutely huge in this game.
Oh, he's just rolled a high armour roll there, I think, Alex, against the
He's
Dwarves.
gone through.
He just rolled a standard 7 for the injury, so.
So currently the numbers on the pitch, it's 8 Necro and 10 Dwarves.
Yeah. Which, with Matt having broken through and formed a semi-cage, probably on the wrong side of Alex from Alex's point of view, those numbers might now start to tell.
So the number of times I've found myself playing Dwarves and having to do this kind of tag and break through.
Playing against Dwarves.
No, playing with Dwarves.
With Dwarves.
Yeah, because But I've done okay with dwarves. I'm perhaps a little too chancy with them.
Yeah,
So I find myself getting a bit kind of boxed in, and I go, oh god, how do we get out of here? Tag and run, like I'm using Skaven, except the player's nothing like Skaven.
with half the movement.
That's it, yeah.
Was that your fantastically named Bearded Hades?
Bearded
dwarf
Hades,
team?
that's it, yes.
Beautiful name for a beautiful team.
My adventurous playstyle is very much the reason why I have not won very much.
So Alex now looks like he's backpedaling to get back on the right side of the dwarves. So blitz there to clear a path.
If any of you are finding it hard to read Matt's D6, that is one of the perils of the Waterbowl dice that we got made last year. I think even
It's a
when
marbling effect a little bit, isn't it?
even when you're playing across the table, you can't always make it out. Particularly like 2
No,
or
you
3
can't.
is quite challenging.
And well, you almost see that, listeners, but Barney has earned himself a pay rise. Cookies in the commentary booth,
But I guess a big one just as he
which
likes.
is a little known Jeanette Winterson book.
Yes, it's hugely erotic. So very much in the spirit of Test Match Special, we have some delicious cookies baked by a very pleasant lady from the locale, Nim Bergin, girlfriend to Vagabond, one of
Vagabond, 1865 UK 63 for A. I think his full name is.
something like that. Yes.
1865, obviously he uses that because that's when he started his first game, and it is still ongoing.
Yes.
It's the full total in meters of his dreadlocks as well. Yeah, so we've got white chocolate cookies here
So,
by the Waterbowl's very own halfling master chef.
delicious. I mean, I know currently it's the middle of the Great British Bake Off for Stand Up to Cancer.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Would not go amiss on that.
Absolutely not. Actually, in fact, there's some secret cherry in here as well. Lovely.
So while those two are eating, I had a quick look at the Dungeon Ball that's been going on as well. Looks very
nice.
exciting. They're currently in turn 1. The ball has been found. There's 2 Dark Elves stood next to each other with the ball. A Minotaur was introduced. Introduced it to one Dark Elf, who then caught the ball off his friend who was just knocked out.
Gosh.
But it looks very
Early
crazy.
introduction there by the DM, Aidan of the Minotaur. Wasn't
No,
expecting that.
this is a Against Dwarf Minotaur.
Oh,
And
the
that's a
right,
legitimate
not
Minotaur.
right.
Yeah, the Dark Elves are very much the exception in the Dungeon Ball final, in an ag team. So we've got Dark Elves, 2 Chaos Pact,
Yep. Chaos Dwarves.
and Chaos Dwarves. So obviously, if the Dark Elves can get the ball, then it should be theirs. But
Your guess is as good as ours as to what that dice roll was.
Yeah, it was some numbers.
I believe that was a ball carrier fouling somebody else on there, I believe.
So Matt here has been able to clear that scrambling defence from Alex.
Be interesting to see how many turns he can or chooses to hold out here.
Yeah, this is
Before
always the
scoring.
issue, isn't it?
Because if Alex gets good KO rolls,
And again, there's still a good 4 or 5 dwarves that sort of been held back in
Yep.
at the halfway
Scattered.
line.
Yep.
So it's talking about how Alex can penetrate through the rest, how good a defence Matt can put up at this point.
Well, I mean, you would say in this position, with the dwarves being so scattered and the runner out on his own right now, that if anything were to go wrong during Matt's turn, this one, potentially the next, Alex has probably got the tools to be able to get back with his pace.
It's all right.
absolutely.
You want a guard tackle white or a tackle might blow up with the idea.
Something like that would be really good, wouldn't it? Yeah, would be really useful right now. But yeah, obviously the tactic now, if you're men up with dwarves in this position, you would look at running down the clock, keeping your opponent out of the way, and scoring in your last turn to give your opponent no chance, very little chance to equalise. But with those dwarves tagged in midfield and out on that far flank, it's whether Matt's got the resources to do that, really.
I can see both teams have both got 2 rerolls left, haven't they, to play with?
That's correct, yeah.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
So think a big one's going to be Alex's turn now and what he decides to do.
Yeah.
So as we said, it could be potentially quite a fragile defence from the Dwarf, so that's right, Alex. Who's naturally quite a conservative player, he doesn't really like to roll a lot of dice, really.
No, he doesn't.
So, he's hit the point now, he's lost enough players that he's going to have to risk it.
Well, yes, he's going to have to roll those dice, isn't he? So does Alex take the clock being run down and attempt to get rid of one or two more dwarves with his claw remaining wolf, or does he put the pressure on?
I think with dwarves, the best pressure is scoring.
Yeah.
That's a lot of armour you've got to get through. He's surf one player, but he's gone into the reserves, so he's straight back on next time. So he'd have to take at least 2 players.
Through here though.
Big armour break there from Alex from his golden block.
And again, if he rolls that dice, when he rolls high, he rolls it quite a lot than he needs to. He always rolls too low for it. It's something, one part of his game he does really need to develop.
Yeah, and he's not really a big fan of the Scandinavian flick either.
He's not. I find that very useful in times.
Yeah.
Gets you out of a few scrapes, doesn't it? The old Scando flick.
If you'd like to describe the Scandinavian flick to our audience, Alex?
Well, it's quite tricky for me these days with my massively broken wrist, but
Of course, yeah. It's the art of when you're rolling the dice come down, when you bring it up, you want to catch one corner of the dice with the dice cup, flipping it from a 2 or a 3, ideally to the 5 or a 6.
If you are good enough, you can spot the roll before you flick it.
yeah, a true dice master.
True dice master indeed. It's
Well, there's some tagging here.
it's the dark arts of Blood Bowl.
Oh, Phil, go for it.
Oh, that's interesting. That's his second reroll gone.
Oh,
and he's
that's
failed
massive,
it.
isn't it?
That's what's known as the snake eyes in the business, and that's a high armour roll. That's a double 6. You can tell that one because of the logo.
There's a one there on the Tony system.
I could feel the clenching from here. That's really unfortunate.
I'm just observing Alex at the moment. He's very restrained from what I thought he would be. I thought his
Taking it
hand would
quite
be all over his
sanguinely,
head,
I think.
but, he looks quite sanguine. Just arranging on the rest of his plays, halfway through the turnover, because again, that's one of the dangers of when you go to an early turnover and you got half your players forward, half back, that gets to for the next turn. But Alex, ever the gentleman, sorts them all out for him.
Yeah. Obviously, that stun may well buy Matt an extra turn before putting the ball in.
Yes, it certainly makes it a bit easier for him.
Yeah.
But he's not going to want to give.
Is that another armor break?
I think so.
And that's an injury. Oh gosh, another
is
cast.
an injury.
That's
That
another
looks to be-
skill.
that's his guarding zombie. I
It's
think.
regen though.
The regen has worked, so he's back in for the next drive.
That's going to make, well, getting to half time perhaps a little bit easier for Matt, depending on.
Yeah, Matt now can probably take his time. Maybe try and get another one or two plays thingy.
Good from Dwarf at the moment now. Just
Yeah,
hitting and
standard.
Because he's got three players up now.
Still split up. He's now got the option of. Oh, he's gone for the score.
What is he doing?
Interesting. He's given his opponent, who's got a faster team.
This is the roll for the Dwarf, so that's quite huge.
So that's a
failed
failed
wolf.
KO roll.
Okay, I'll for the
The
white.
white,
Is that?
by the looks of
For the
it.
white and also the zombie.
Oh wow. Okay.
We have failed both of the knockout rolls.
But he's still giving his opponent, who's got
4
movement
full
8
turns.
I guess. I mean,
to move 2 movement 7 guys, chance to
I guess
equalise.
it's 11 versus 8. Maybe Matt's thinking I can get some hits in.
But on defence, you with dwarves,
That's a very strong defence. We've put up with 5
he's
guys
gonna
at the
have
line.
to he's gonna have to be careful with his setup, so he doesn't get just leave loads of space.
A deep kick here would be very helpful.
Yes, it would.
Obviously, he's covered quite far back, just in case of
But obviously, Matt there is
war
worried.
front page.
Very true. But Matt's worried there about the golems on the front line with a strength 4 and 5. He's overloaded his line of
Has
scrimmage
it?
there.
If he puts both the goals on the line, they're stuck there, so I'd take that. And even a Dwarf dodging away, still a 50-50 chance to get away from that.
And he's got
Golems and stuff.
he's got a plus strength in there as well, hasn't he? Matt?
Yeah.
He's got two plus strength players.
So yeah, so I think Matt's gone for the 2 blitzers are in the middle of the pitch. The 2 slayers are on the left-hand side, and with the 2 runners at the back, and then all the linemen just stacked in the middle of that line. But again, Alex himself is only down to 4 and 3 players now. So again, everyone left back to pick up the ball is one who's not scoring.
And 1 reroll left.
And 1 reroll left for 3
I do
turns.
believe the purple, I believe, is sure hands.
Yeah, block short hands, I think.
Yeah, there we go. Ball in that safe central square.
And again with 3.
Who's calling blitz now?
I'm thinking a perfect defense.
I'm going to call perfect D. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, I think this is at prime blitz territory.
There's definitely a 4. That doesn't look like a 6 to me.
Definitely not a high kick. I think.
Oh, it's weather
Could be
maybe?
high kick if that's a 1. So Alex is rolling. Oh no, it's a one of the re-rolls by the looks of it.
And it's gone to Matt. By the
I
looks
think
of it.
Matt's won it, unless there's a fame.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe 1
No.
each. No. So,
So that's 2 rerolls from half.
yeah, 1 each.
Yeah, so they both won a re-roll there.
And then the scatter.
Well, that shallow kick has probably helped Alex
Although,
much more.
it's just only just in range, isn't it? It's a big,
But
big
that's-
pickup.
Yep. But it does save it having to move it from the backfield.
No, it absolutely does.
Yeah.
It's the key for him will be to avoid just getting pinned on this in this tram line.
Yeah. Or you don't want a repeat of the first drive where everything just gets mashed up against the sideline and no one goes anywhere.
But again, as it stands still, Alex does only have those sort of 4 movement players. Everything else
Yeah.
seems to be from some sort of scrum.
Yeah.
Looks like he has to feed at 1 zombie now, which, you know, zombie is the key to the game.
I think Matt's wisely kept players back, hasn't he? 2 runners back obviously as normal, but he's also kept the rest of his team back to avoid being just outrun basically.
I hesitate to use the word fast players, but comparatively for Dwarves, yeah, it is all the fast players at the back. So again,
There was a big moment in the semi-final between Matt and Core. I think it was when Matt was 1-0 up at half time. And start second half, Core. I think it was his block dodge Croxagore, standard build. I think double sculled itself off the pitch,
True, very true.
which was very much in keeping with Core's fortune in that
I think
game.
the whole game did stretch him.
of course, going back to Cord joining the league for the first time, obviously been quite an experienced player. I think it's what he deserves for bringing Lisbon
That's true.
to his very first Waterbowl.
Oh yeah. I mean, Walter's in here with his big horn helmet
Nothing else.
and his
Actually, I think
successful
Cord is a
social.
very historically accurate person, so he did not have.
Probably
horns
didn't
in
have
his
horned
helmet.
helmets. No.
He does get quite offended when you suggest. Oh,
It's another big armour roll there for Alex against the Dwarf.
Can he follow it up?
I can't. Again, as you see, he rolls. That's the second one for a little bit too longer. Again.
When is he going to learn?
I'm gonna-
When is it? I mean, how many of these games do you have to play before he figures out that his technique is
Usually
all
just
wrong?
before he plays me, and then it's.
Yeah, in keeping with Core's filthy block dodge Croxagore, he also had an Ag 4 block skink as well, amongst other.
Oh yes, I've forgotten about that altogether, or potentially blanked it from my mind.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, of the players on the Lizardman team to get those kind of roles, he nailed it.
I thought you say of the players, of the coaches to get those players, because
Yeah.
there are a few coaches in the league, myself included, that would have benefited from that kind of thing. But Core, on most occasions, is not in need of.
He doesn't need that kind of
assistance.
boon.
No. No, both down. Was that both down? Skull? I think, yeah.
Well,
So I think
no action from that block, so I think it must have been the old
that was a
1 in
blitz as
9.
well.
Okay.
Again, there's nothing to worry about. Having said that, that's now another player on that line, not in the ball,
So this-
and not in the scoring position.
It does look handily like it might be tricky. Oh no, is that a Slayer there?
That is a slide, yeah.
So there's a Slayer in surfing.
The very
Range.
topmost dwarf player is
huge roll
a
now.
troll
Coming up for
slayer.
He's failed it.
Oh, that's
So that
Oh, that's very
was a failed
unfortunate.
original pickup, and out it goes. Not out it goes,
That's
but
very
away he goes.
unfortunate for Alex.
at least it has dropped into 3 tackle zone, so other places could have.
So Alex has obviously forgotten to move his turn marker on 1, so he should
was
really
a-
be on 6.
I was about to
Yeah.
go there and call him for legal procedure, but I thought he would not.
No. He's remembered now. So given the end to Alex's turn before Matt scored with snaking the go for it, and then failing that, and failing his KO rolls,
Yep.
it's the kind of situation in the game where you start to feel a bit aggrieved.
You probably
Absolutely
naturally
not,
would
absolutely
feel.
not.
Yeah.
So when I said you, I was looking directly at Barney.
Well, it's very easy to start thinking like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially in a game like this with a final, you think, you know, you've played all those games beforehand to get here. Why is it happening now?
Yeah.
But it's a game of no, not going to say it. It's a game of 16 turns. So we'll see what happens after this drive.
It's a game of lonely men.
Lonely
Lonely men. Just counting down the hours
Allowing
until their
the
lives
furrow.
end.
So obviously at the moment, I think the big worry for Alex now is we saw that the movement 8 Wolf, who you'd have thought would be his natural scorer. He's mixed upon stuff on the line of scrimmage. He's got his 3 players around the ball. Having said that, he's got 2 turns, so he's going to have to get into scoring distance. And Hanley, I don't know if you know with the new pitches now, if you can see the little trapdoor on the bottom right of the pitch, that signifies 6 squares from the end zone. So Alex ideally wants to be on that line there, or just to before it with at least one of his players to be able to get the score.
You can see Matt using some different D6 there for whatever that roll was. I have to say, having taken 3 players off the pitch, or 4 players in fact, I would definitely be sticking with the Waterbowl dice.
Yes, yeah, well, you think that there's something going on with him in this game?
Matt's going in full contact.
Matt is going full contact. He's going to give Alex a real headache to try and
But again, he's still got his one little fella out the back.
A, get the ball, and then B, get through that line of dwarves.
Yeah.
I can't tell quite now where the strength 4 dwarves are,
No.
but I would have thought if the blitzers were free, he'd have stuck one right in front of that.
Yeah, I think the model that's right at the top of the screen
Yeah.
is the right on the halfway line, and right at the top is the strength 4 one, I believe.
Okay. So
Again, he's near the sideline, but with that wolf right in the middle.
Well, that's it. All it would take is a small gap in Matt's line, easily manageable with the golems, and I can already see a chain push with a golem block to potentially move 2 dwarves at the same time.
I didn't know if you were, but Adam does see in chain pushers. That's in life.
I don't see, yeah. I mean, that's how I navigate the commuter traffic in chain pushers. If I can move 2 cars at once with mine, I'll do it.
Matt's done a good job there in avoiding the temptation to go really aggressive.
Yep.
He could have gone for the surf or something like that.
Yep.
But if he'd failed that, also he left himself open to them escaping.
Exactly. Out of position. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, it looks like Alex at the moment now is currently just working. I mean, can he get a hole to get at least one of his
faster players?
Yeah.
The obvious route now for Alex would be to just go basically to the bottom right corner of the picture.
That's what I'm thinking as well.
Yeah.
And you can see the wolf in the middle there is poised.
Absolutely poised.
So we're talking about a pirate right hook.
This is a big roll. I think he's looking for.
Oh, it's the classic
power.
pirate right hook.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's not.
I think he's just rolled another 1 in 9
God.
again.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
With if that's not a double score, that was a skull both down.
I think that was with his with the white.
Yeah.
Pushes. Okay.
Again, just more pushes.
Yeah.
Which at this stage in the half is not the worst thing that could happen.
No.
Because at least the dwarves are tagged.
However,
Ideally,
but
yeah,
he is
you wouldn't
looking to
want.
try and get this hole. Isn't
He
he? I
is,
think
he
this
is.
a big one now. So I think this one needs to be a pal. We need looking for a pal now. There he gets.
And there it is.
Yeah. So
Called by Barney there. And that's why he's in the commentary box.
So yeah.
that's a long bit, isn't it?
So I think as it stands, if Alex does run at this point with his wolf, he's going to be on his own.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I don't know if there's anyone who can keep up with him. He might be able to get some support in or tag a dwarf. The only players that Matt could potentially use now is that
Oh, he's going for a handoff early.
dwarf in the back line. He is doing it now.
He's got the ball successfully. See,
So this is the big roll now. This is. Oh, Alex
He's made it with a 5. So Alex there was rolling 2 dice at once because his player had sure hands.
I'm a big fan of that, I'll be honest.
If any one of those was less than the required result, then he could use the second dice as a sure hands roll.
so there's a big part of me that always worries about that. Kind of, you go, if you roll like he got a 5 and a 6 there, didn't he?
Yeah,
And he'd be like, oh, but the 6.
but the 6.
And
but the
I know
6.
it's not how it works.
No, But you see a 6 and
yeah.
you think, oh, that could have been used somewhere
Yeah,
else.
particularly when you roll a 2 for the catch or something.
And can we just have a big round of applause there for Tim following that play to the square
Yes.
with the ball diagram.
Dice marking ninja of the highest order. So
Tim just enlarging that icon now. Just showing off now basically with his graphics wizardry. Just showing off. It's probably going to change colour in a bit.
Will be in touch soon.
So this is big. Is it?
So here comes a ghoul.
That's a cool, yeah.
Ghoul with a built-in dodge skill, but against some dwarves doesn't work.
So that means we're looking probably at.
And he's gone for it as well. That was a go for it to get to that tag.
So it looks like we're looking at a 1 die splits, aren't we, on the ball carrier?
I don't know if the blitz has already happened or not. Has it not?
No, in Matt's turn.
Oh, in Matt's,
If
yes, in
that's
Matt's
both of
turn,
us.
yeah.
Because tagging that other player just takes away, or makes the assist much more chancy.
Yeah, true.
I'm assuming if that's a long beard, I think that's out of the question now, isn't it?
Unless Matt chose to blitz off the ghoul and just tag him, but I don't.
That's an option.
It's an option, yeah. Try and get a couple of plays in front of the.
But I find it hard
wolf.
to get. I think the runner can get in front of him, but obviously if you're tagging, you don't want to just leave a 3-up dodge away.
No, you don't. So this is where Matt's decision to score as soon as he could potentially backfire.
He'll definitely be ruining that if the ball goes in and then those 2 KOs come back for Alex.
Yeah, that would be a big switch, big turnaround.
5, so movement 5 in front of it. 6 would be the hit.
And he has got a shot at 3. Is that?
So in the bottom clump, in the middle, around the golem.
I think it's around the goal, but I think there is one slayer there who the 2 Longbeards have already stood up.
Oh, okay.
So he would be 4 dodges away to get this to there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So he's going for.
Is it the blitz?
This probably is the blitz.
Oh no.
No, he's just tagging the ball carrier. So that's a safe move. You don't require any dice rolls for that. So if this position might be a wise move.
I suppose he's a blodger, isn't he? So.
Sorry?
The wolf's the blodger, isn't he?
Oh, I just rolled a
Yes.
skull.
That's the power, isn't it? That?
It has been re-rolled, but it has. That was a re-roll.
Yeah. That's helpful. See if he can perhaps Oh,
it was a blitz.
oh, okay.
It was the blitz. He's gone for the armor roll, which is through. Just a stun. But that's another player out for Alex to support.
So it's a big,
So I would go for it, I think.
yeah, big push here. If you can make this though.
That is a guarding lineman, isn't it?
Oh,
No,
that must be the blitzer.
must be a blitzer. Okay.
There's almost a game in itself. Guess the position.
So that is. Well, I read the TackleZone.net's guide recently to blocking and defence. However, I retain very little information with anything I read, so I can't remember whether that was classed as a hard
Is that through?
marking or soft marking there.
Stun again, yeah. And I definitely recommend, actually, if you haven't been and checked out the TackleZone.net, it's a forum, it's a website worth checking out. There's some really good tactical insights as well as kind of tawny stuff that you find on Talk Fantasy Football.
Yep. Yeah, there's much more kind of like analysis going on.
And some really good coaches over there.
Oh, very good, very good.
And Joe Mandy as well, I believe.
Yeah, I think he's involved. Yeah.
And obviously Joe here would just be advising, just roll lots of dice.
Of course.
Just roll lots of dice.
Joe's MO, basically.
Yeah.
He doesn't like to talk about it though.
It's going to be interesting here. See.
So yeah, Matt choosing to just
He's done quite a nice.
swamp the area with tackle zones.
So if you were Alex here, I can't see if you can get any cover over there without dodging.
Could just go.
Would you go for the half dice
there's no-
splits?
Alex very nicely turning his Waterbowl dice mat round so the logo's in the right way.
Very considerate.
Always thinking Alex is with
Oh no, actually, if it's got a blitzer there, there's no tackling there, is there? So
I'm just thinking there, he's got a bodge, So I think the 4 plus 3 plus has got a re-roll, so it would be a 75% chance for that first dodge to come off.
unless let me just double check whether that blitzer's got tackle.
I think it's just a guarding blitzer. I think there's a tackle on. I think there's only one tackle on the Dwarf team, and that's on the Troll Slayer.
That's correct.
Correct.
Well, I do retain some
You
information.
said you retain nothing. But
Yeah.
Don't do yourself down, man. See, with half time approaching, if you want any birthday shout outs, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, whatever you like.
You got any cars you want to sell?
Song requests,
impressions.
Freestyle you a tune over the half time break.
Barney is an amazing beatboxer, so we'll probably be getting some of that at half time as well. And I play mean pinball.
So it looks like Matt's just turned over. So it looks
I
like
think that was
Alex.
And getting a lovely little spot there of Alex on the camera.
Yeah,
something like a spring watch there.
Something like a dream.
And he's gone for straight up 2-die block to begin with.
Oh, we're taking the push.
So we're not entirely sure where that action is taking place. Has he just gone for 2 dice uphill?
No, he's gone for the half dice.
Let's go for the
2 dice uphill against a marker. He had to re-roll it because there was a skull. But he's pulled. He did a push pow.
Oh,
huge. 1 die. Look at that.
That's huge.
Well, that's...
If in doubt, roll lucky. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
So he's not gone through.
It has gone through.
Oh, it has gone through.
No, that is the dodge roll. So he rolled a 1 for the dodge, followed by 6 with his re-roll. So that was an unexpected play there from Ringbeard, I think. We didn't really expect that. We thought it might just be a straight up
I thought that was
dodge.
That's a so I was in both stores. So, that's huge, isn't it?
And yep, he's got his players back.
Wow.
So as we said,
it very much looks like Alex would be the favourite going into the second half.
You'd think so. You'd think so.
So what was that roll at the end? Was it a half dice blitz? What did you roll initially? You rolled the skull both down.
A power on the...
Oh, the push power.
Oh, okay, right. A stumble, was it?
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, could you just remodel your teams, repaint them so we can see them clearly, that kind of thing. BSL, the skills on each player as you play as well. we didn't actually see it. We were chatting about something else.
Yeah. Actually, I might just take this for a comfort break.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Should we be back in 1 moment?
While they're at half time, if anyone would like me to Google something on Alex's laptop, please.
That is Tim's laptop that you're sat beside, so be careful. No, it's all right. Keep it going. Barney, if you can kind of whistle some kind of incidental music.
Of all the Waterbowl that I'm known for my witty repartee, we'll leave you with some silence while we see what happens.
Okay, so as you can see, the players are back and getting ready for what looks like a very tense second half.
Can you get through?
We managed to speak to both players at half time, and they were both feeling pretty confident about the outcome now. Obviously, Alex getting that touchdown and those kick-off. There's knocked out players back at half time. Just massive.
You can see Matt going for the same defence he went for the last time with the full line of dwarves, and then the positionals hanging back to see what happens.
I think he's swapped out his troll slayers to keep that armour rate protected, especially with Alex striking first.
I think Alex back to full 11v11 now, so
Yeah, but the loss of that wolf is probably still going to be annoying.
so we think Matt's got fully minded blown players, and now Alex with that guy hasn't got any. So could that tell with the majority armour 8 versus the majority armour 9?
In the other final, I bobbed over there just while we were on a break, and it's currently 1-0 to Lewis and his Dark Elves. Apparently, the forces of Chaos and Chaos Dwarves were closing in, and what we call in the trade a Dark Elf Mega Wang saw the ball sail out of danger and into the hands of one of their players that put it in for the go-ahead score. And
Apparently the teleports have taken out 11 players so far.
Yes.
Just the
Yes,
teleports.
a whole team of players exiting via teleports.
Wow.
So that is exactly what you want from a Dungeon Bowl game.
Yes,
really.
you do. Yes, you do.
So the way we're playing it there, because there's 4 teams, is whoever's winning turn 16 will win. If there's more than one team on the same score, then those teams will go through to a sudden death over
Potential
time.
high kick there for Alex to take advantage of.
Just approaching the desk, we have Mr. Firewally, the
Muscles from Brussels.
What a man. What a man Fire Ollie is.
he is a big hunking man.
Isn't he just?
He's a mighty good man. Yes, he is.
He's a slab of a Blood Bowler. Prime cut.
And we're going to tournament up in Preston and having breakfast with Ollie, and he had 2 breakfast barns, each one the size of his bicep, and the size of Ollie's biceps is about the size of a baby.
This is you have to get to his place by climbing a giant beanstalk. Don't
Yes,
you? Yeah.
yes you do. He is gargantuan. Okay, so we're
So
very
Alex
much in
seems to
the
have caught the ball, I think,
yeah,
from that kick off.
which is again another huge bonus.
So is that bonus?
Bonus.
Bonus, yeah.
I'll call it
yeah.
boner as well.
One of them's got to be semi at least,
Yeah.
with the situation of this game right now.
Again, if the Necro can turn on the armour breaks, well, capitalise. There were lots of armour breaks first half, but Alex just couldn't follow through onto the
No,
injury table.
couldn't roll the required injury dice, could he?
No.
So there's a big old nest of guard right in the middle there,
Yeah.
as expected.
Our roving reporter, Barney, has just gone over to the pitch to check out some key details.
Check on those bonus situations.
Possibly just
I
check
imagine.
out the
Yeah.
Sorry, just a nice light word with Alex, just so we can see the excitement as it happens and not have to try and guess.
Are we talking still about the bonus?
No, sorry. Oh, that's a big roll.
That is.
It's a double 6.
I think Alex was like pointing that out there. See those dice right there?
Yeah, 2
Oh,
poos.
And that
Oh,
looks
shoot.
like that is a casualty.
Is this going to be a...
That looks like it is a guard long.
I think that's something dead. So the apple
Yeah.
has been used.
No.
Yes.
So this
I
could
see
be.
By the head.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, he swings.
Yeah, he has, yeah.
Okay.
Well, a nice early little advantage there for Alex.
Let's see how we can leverage this.
Necromantic teams are one of the more specialist races, I think, aren't they? They're a funny old mix. Obviously, you've got that front line of whites and golems, but you've then thrown a curveball a little bit with these ghouls and the werewolves. All of a sudden you've got this movement as well. They can be very, very good, or an absolute pain in the arse to use.
Yeah, but again, only Ag 3 out of 6 Ag 3 players, so not huge on the Ag. And again, apart from the golems, armor 8s mainly, and armor 7 on the dual, so they can be surprisingly fragile.
See the big change for the Necros since I started playing 3rd ed. Loss of they used to be catch and razor sharp. Claws.
Catch, well, yeah, retain the claws,
but no regen.
But did have the catch skill, which was a strange one. Always thought that was strange on wolves, having the catch skill.
It certainly helped me sell them in my mind.
I think it was a throwback to the old dogs catching things in the air.
That makes a lot of sense.
Again, we prefer rules to fluff. Let's not let the two mix it.
Yeah, fluff. I mean, who wants fluff?
Absolutely not.
So it looks like Alex is just going through a bit of a manoeuvring process right now.
So he's avoiding those kind of both downs, which are stymie progress at times.
Certainly plagued his first half block dice, didn't they?
Yes.
And Alex there is now just using his frenzy to manoeuvre the dwarves out of position. So as you can see, Matt's front line of scrimmage there is now almost unrecognisable.
Would you call it decimated, Alan?
When I say decimated, well, with Matt down to 10 players and having about a tenth of that removed, I would say decimated is on the nose.
At least, yeah. Again, we saw last half how Matt scored in 6 turns. I don't think Alex will be doing anything the same. I think he's going to be looking to be playing for the long game, so he may not even try and get too far up too soon. He's just going to hang back, especially now with that 1-man advantage, try and do a bit of damage, to see if maybe try and chip another player. I mean, if I was Alex, I think I'd probably see if he can get one of those Slayers isolated again with a weaker armour.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not likely to get as close to the runners as you are the Troll Slayers.
So I'm thinking,
So a little bit of jiggery pokery here as they reset for the next turn.
So again, with the Necro defence here, there's absolutely no back in the cage there, but
nope.
Thankfully against Dwarves is something you just don't have to worry about.
Not so much of an issue, yeah, you can be a little bit wider, can't you, with your front against Dwarves to stop
Very
them.
upsetting as a Dwarf player.
Yeah.
When they don't even have to have like a cage. But again, that's 2 more players that he's going to have right up to the front.
So what is Matt thinking right now?
There is a route to the ball carrier, but it involves like 3 4-up dodges and maybe a push.
Now we're seeing classic Blood Bowler behaviour here. In your downtime, as you watch your opponent figure things out,
Look at this.
you can spend half your nervous energy moving dice around, sorting them into colours,
Moving them into the most negative outcome, so triple skulls
triple skulls there.
bunch of ones maybe at the top. Is that?
Yeah, he's hoping that the universe will just wear off those that value on that face of the dice. But you'll see that a lot in games, and Blood Bowlers are not afraid to collect things, dice, mats, tokens, extra players, skill rings, whatever. You'll see a whole collection of plastic in front of you. And the amount of times I've seen opponents rearrange them into rainbow patterns, stack them, make pretty patterns out of them. I think it definitely is part of the make of a Blood Bowl player is enjoying that kind of thing.
Taking
So
down
Matt's coming in strong, I think.
That's a golem, I think. No, that's white.
Seven.
That's got to be the tackle white, isn't it?
Yes, I think that
The
is
white
right,
skill ring,
yeah.
guard, tackle, white, gone down. The 2 golems are side by side, just in front of their own line of scrimmage. So So obviously Matt here is just looking to force some repositioning from Alex, or trying to get. That looks like a big armour. Not quite. No, that was a 5 and something.
Just
The mystery of the Waterbowl. You never know what the dice roll.
To give you an idea of what the gaming centre is like that we're playing in, just across from us, in amongst the blood bowling hullabaloo, there's a possibly a young couple playing.
I think so.
But with some wine on the go.
Yeah, we've got a mix. We've got red and rosé. I haven't checked out the vintage. I'm assuming it will be on the higher echelons.
Yeah. I mean, I can't tell which card game they're playing, but would you match rosé to that, or would you be more of a kind of a hearty red?
I know. I mean, these pairing decisions are extremely important. I can't tell what the game is either. I mean, you'd want to be going for a semi-on, I think, with that kind of card game.
I think
Another high. Is that an armour roll?
That's a 9 for something.
So not quite enough, I think, there without extra tools to crack a dwarf open. It's always frustrating when you roll the actual armour value. You always think, why, universe, why?
Oh, okay, so it's Alex trying to count out to trying to decide what to do. There's a bit of flank open there if you can try and crack that open. Yeah, zombie goes in there for the assist on the Slayer.
I mean, yeah, that Troll Slayer out there on his own is a little vulnerable, isn't he?
I think he is, yeah.
But in this situation, would you prefer to push the Troll Slayer out towards the end zone, the sideline, or would you put it back into the mix to keep the dwarves contained?
Yeah, I think
What would you do?
I think I want to try and kick it in the middle, get it.
box them up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Alex has chosen to isolate the Troll Slayer. With Frenzy, it's very easy to get. And he's broken the armour, so this could be a very useful little block.
Oh,
and that, I believe, is a double 6.
And the Apo's gone.
And the Apo's gone on the Troll Slayer. That looks like a badly hurt. So no free zombie for Alex. Obviously with the Necro team, you've got the use of a Necromancer to raise the dead once per game. Can be very important sometimes, especially when you lose positionals like he has.
This is reminiscent of a previous Premier League final between very much a strong player like when Sizzler played Muttley.
Yes, yeah, previous
The original
year.
People's Champion of
The
the
original,
Waterbowl.
absolutely the original People's Champion, and Gary, I think, again took a 1-0 lead into half time in that game. Sizzler having made a mistake in the first half, and then in the space of 3 turns in the second half, when it looked like it was going Gary's way, I think he failed a dodge, and then had 3 players or 4 players leave in the next 3 turns.
Yeah, it can happen very quickly.
Yeah.
That's another power again from Alex.
So that Troll Slayer going off, that leaves Matt down to
another
9
6.
players.
I think
With
we
a high
have
armour
an
roll.
inquiry on these dice at the moment.
Yeah.
Just a stun, but still, armour breaks on dwarves basically takes players, slow players out for 2 turns. Can be a real turnaround.
Yeah, for older fans, Matt probably feeling when he sees those poos on those dice, like one used to feel when seeing either Geordie Bowl dice or Flame Bowl dice being plucked from an opponent's dice bag
Oh,
at a
yeah.
key moment.
So this looks like a pretty decent drive from Alex so far.
Yeah, we
Doesn't seem to be in too much trouble. He's tagging. He's taken off a player, stunned one.
Yeah, I think obviously those 2 players going off is quite huge. I think
Very important.
settle them now. I think he may be tempted to make a bit of a break for it, but I think now he's just going to settle down, try and get those dwarfs into the middle of the pitch,
Yeah.
get by the golems. Now, especially now one of these slayers is gone, so it's less dauntless for him.
Yeah, very true.
You know, in the pinch to try and get through it.
And Matt, by the looks of it, is that guarding lineman down, so he's lost an advantage against the strength players.
He's got 2 off the pitch, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Because one went to reserves. So it might be time for. It's getting to the point where I don't know, maybe Matt's going to crack out something more aggressive. Maybe
Well,
try
he
and get the hits in.
might have to.
He
Yeah.
just like to crack out really aggressive when he gets inside.
He's,
doesn't
He is quite,
well, he's
quite
not.
aggressive with his cracking outs. That's true.
Well, quite.
Matt's in desperate need of a proper armour break again. Get somebody else off the pitch at least.
Yeah. I'd have thought so. Even a zombie. What those?
Yeah, you can see the kind of Festival of Guard building.
Yeah.
Especially with the anchor by the 2 golems right in the centre. I think I can count 1, 2, 3, 4 dwarf players.
Tied up there, yeah.
And that's on golem guard sandwich.
I mean, a strength 5 guard golem right next to his other golem friend. It's like having developed mummies for your undead team. Just an almost impossible combination to move if you haven't got strength yourself or a bit of dauntless.
And obviously he's lost one of his players with that, hasn't he? So
yes, he has.
So a bit. Well, the fruitiness that's required is even greater.
Well, yeah, like we said, Matt is not afraid to roll the dice, so it's not going to be a situation where he's going to have to really think about it too much.
And also, he keeps pretty level-headed, so.
Matt does stay calm, doesn't he?
Yeah, some opponents at this point they lose a couple of players, start to feel it's not going their way, and just go into themselves a little bit.
Yep.
Forget to do the basics, or think about what might work if I push my luck a little bit.
Yep. No, yeah, Matt does take it mostly in his stride.
Yeah, have an interesting chat.
It's a long stride as well, as a tall guy.
So that move we saw in the first half where Alex sort of got around the ball carrier and Matt then blitzed out and took out that Mighty Blow Wolf. He was something he wasn't expecting at all, which again, Alex now is starting to play quite a lot of tournaments, and the UK tournament scene breeds quite a conservative approach to Bloodbowl.
Yes, absolutely.
That must have been a claw attack there because he rolled 8 for the armour, which is just a stun, but still, again,
that's another dwarf out for another. Says 2 turns. So that's touching down 4 dwarfs now that are off, or at least out the game for 2 turns. And then, if 2 turns later the ball's deep in his half, they can be as good as gold.
Yeah.
So you can see Alex there's quite happy just to maintain position around about the halfway line and just reposition the dwarves, keep loads of contact because his men are. Those dwarves right now they're in no position to threaten the ball carrier, which is why Alex is quite happy to leave them unmarked, unguarded at the back.
I was wondering, is Matt holding those runners back for when Alex breaks through, or is he going to try and do something a little bit daring this turn?
I think
as
ever, it's always damned if you do, damned if you don't, because you in theory you put them up and then they can get lost in the mix, get knocked out, get injured. But again, you leave them back and there's 2 more players that just aren't contributing to
exactly.
Yeah, no, agreed.
So we've got a bit of a pause here, I think, while they're just considering their options.
It's tricky for Matt as well, in that because it's still really early in the half. Obviously, he doesn't want Alex to get set, but if he does something fruity and it looks like that's coming,
Matt there has just rolled a die for, I think, a possible go for it for the dodge. He's using a re-roll, so it probably could be either. And I think that might have just snake-eyed that. So that there is always the danger when you choose to roll dice. That is through. Roll dice early in your turn.
Okay, so stunned. Yeah, the difficult thing for
Alex points not yet to understand all the other players as well. So that's
a good spot. The difficulty for Matt was if he gets through even at this point and pops the ball, then he's still not got the movement to capitalise on that.
No, he hasn't got the place to regroup and make the most of the situation either. It would be very much a one-man mission. It would be an Arnold Schwarzenegger style affair, I think.
A nice little picture of Alex on this.
Maybe this is his best. Maybe this is Matt's best hope. If Alex leaves himself just a sideline cage, look, he's avoided it already. And just go for the straight 6 up.
So that's about 6 squares of movement he's done on that zombie there, going backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
Very careless.
So with the 2 go for it, so you can get a half dice, but again, due to that positioning now, he can't be 6 plus surfed off. So it's a good move from Alex.
I guess Matt will be hoping here that if he can't pull off the requisite shenanigans to remove the ball, that he at least doesn't have anyone else to leave the pitch. And then, he's going to get at least one turn at the end with a riot, maybe two.
Well, you do, you always hope for the right a little bit, don't you? When you're defending in the second half.
Obviously, you can one turn with dwarves, but
you can. Famously executed by my colleague to the left here.
The story of this is available in my biography. I one turned Gangster with dwarves, but I don't like to talk about it, even though I lost 2-1.
Sometimes it's not the result;
No.
it's the journey.
It is the journey. Although that was held by a movement 7 runner.
So interestingly, yeah. So as we thought earlier, Alex, I think it's just going safe now. I think kill the dwarfs in, kill the contain.
Yep.
Don't do too many rolls.
He then doesn't really need to worry
Get
about.
lighter if you can.
Yeah.
Now he's getting
And
through
yeah,
there, so-
exactly. Yeah. And he doesn't need to worry then about creating a really safe space for his ball carrier.
He just needs to guard against probably a little bit of complacency at this point.
Yes. Yeah.
People going off, you think you've got it in hand.
Yep. And then you leave a couple of players out of position slightly, or you decide to do an action first rather than take the safe stuff. Yep.
Well, as we were saying earlier, doesn't expect it. Sometimes you can play safe, expecting your opponent to play safe. About trying something risky, I would say even like a 5+4+ dodge, which you normally wouldn't be expecting, but if he tries it, it works.
Yeah. When your back's against the wall, sometimes you do the. You just decide to go bugger it and go for it.
Because I'd say this sort of situation now, all Matt just has to do is stop him scoring. Because it's 2 dwarfs down, but one of them's back, so in theory, if we were to have an overtime, he could be back into the full 11
Yeah,
players.
very true.
Nice to see an appearance in the Twitch stream chat from a Waterbowler of many years gone by, Ninja Hamster. Hello, Jimmy.
Oh, hello, Jimmy.
I believe
Hope
he's
you're enjoying
now,
this.
Thoroughly retired with a thumb imprinted on his head nowadays.
Yeah.
Probably his new.
Other more modern views are available.
Yes.
Not from the Waterbowl, though.
No.
I'm only joking, Jimmy. We love you. And of course, Jimmy has famously just given up his little hairdresser's car and he's now got a proper family estate.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, he's a real boy.
He
now.
has. What's going on there? To be fair, it wasn't it's the high range hairdresser's car there.
of course. Exciting stuff indeed, Jimmy. So yeah, so that's why we're talking. Let's move over to Matt's turn. Unfortunately, not much you can really do. Just send him a few dwarves.
No. You see, that's it. He's got dwarves all over the shop.
Yeah.
One's not even in the shop.
So this could be a time where I think I'm probably looking to do some risky plays just to try and get some of them free. Oh, and
There you go.
There's
Risky
rerolls.
there.
well, it doesn't pause.
It can often happen.
I think that's a push.
Well, it's just a push, yeah. So, and as all Blood Bowlers know, a push is better than a skull.
Yes.
Except in the 2 dice or 3 dice against.
With 1 in the hand is worth
With
2
1 in the
push.
hand is worth 2 in the push.
So yeah, without the range of movement here to put much pressure on Alex. Oh, is that a 6?
So it's a 6 just to go for the go for it, just to
but
seal that gap.
But the showbiz rolling.
Oh, I mean it's cavalier.
It's going to be interesting to see how, or if this season sort of changes anything in Matt's play going forward. 'Cause they're
Yeah.
two seasons with us, and there's been a definite progression in his play.
He's definitely picked up a few things.
Alex starts off, of course, with a double power just to.
Well, just to stamp his authority, I think, on the game at this point.
A 5 came out of the cup, but he tried to argue it's a legal roll.
Yeah.
I'm thinking if that had been a 1 or a 2, he probably would have put the dice back in the
Probably
cup.
would have. Probably would have gone. Oh, that doesn't count.
Quite standard Bloodbowl fair.
Underneath that cap
He's a full head of hair.
beats.
I still don't understand why he wears his cap.
No, I think you'll find that hair is attached to the heart.
oh.
He's very much kind of like Bobby Charlton under that. Of course,
Is he looking for a surf potentially on this runner, or has he just seemed
both down, both down.
No, there's a push in there. There's
Oh,
a
it's
push both down.
The lights, okay, yeah.
So now it's not a frenzy player, so he doesn't have to worry too much about any kind of follow-ups.
Of course, if Alex wins this, well, either way, actually, Alex will have an interesting choice going into the next Veterans League season because he's. Did he win? Oh no, he's Skaven, didn't he, in the Vets?
Yes.
Yeah, he won the Vets the time before with Necro. I was thinking he'd have an interesting choice between which Necro team to use.
Well, very true. You'll notice that the ball has been stealthily moved forwards,
Yeah.
whereas the ball icon is.
No, that's okay.
just a little bit of a delay on
It
the
was
feed
just a
there.
delay. It was just a small delay.
Yeah, Tim cloaked
Not
that
to be
20 minutes ago.
confused. What we'll see next is Tim predicting where the ball's going to end up, and then everything will balance out again. So it's obviously just a fairly standard drive now for Alex
Yeah.
up the wing. I don't think he's feeling under any threat from the remaining Troll Slayer now.
Some kind of. Was that a dodge?
It was, yeah. Dodge
It
from
was a
the-
dodge. I
Oh,
think he's
it's
just going for the numbers game now.
Oh, he's
Failed to go for it.
That's his first reroll over the half. This is huge.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he's okay. So he's
now
snake
that could
eyed
be
it.
the mistake.
Well, I think he's definitely that is an armor break with 9.
Oh, that's
That looks like that could be an injury.
Oh,
It
hello.
is an injury.
He's not regen
He's
either.
not regen, so that is the block dodge wolf,
It was. That's 2 wolves gone.
possibly.
Well, that.
So he's lost both walls now. So the players most likely to take a dwarf off the pitch are both off. However, having consolidated his position on the sideline, I don't think right now Alex is under any threat.
Is that?
So I think, yeah,
So yeah,
what Alex was
I was
pointing
thinking
out
of
there
doing
was-
there's 2 dwarf players right at the top. So on a 6+, who would be in and who would be crowd surf.
It's going to be interesting
True.
to see what happens here.
very true.
I know, I'm watching.
I think he's put T in there, isn't he? So it looks like now that. There we go. Matt is just clearing
Adam playing Dave,
the gap.
Nick playing Martin, Isaac playing Andy.
So I think he's going to obviously now just attempt to get tackle zones in there.
Yeah.
And that all of a sudden, Alex's ball carrier looks vulnerable.
The hard thing here is to avoid just going nuts.
Yeah, getting carried away and going and trying to force the blocks.
Was there both down, is that? And a pow, I think? Definitely a pow.
I think it's a well, actually, to be honest, your guess is as good as mine.
Well, as he's
Well, it's obviously some kind of power because
because
one of the Necro players is down.
It looks like he's, depending what he goes for here, he might be able to blitz out, maybe? What? Again, I can see the.
there would be a 5+ dodge for a half dice in the ball with that runner.
Well, I'm not sure if he's already blitzed to get
Well, that's
that
good.
back marker down.
That's nice.
It's very useful. But this is a problem though with the dwarves. If you're working as a unit,
Now, which armor dice is he going to go for?
You
I'd
can't
go-
consolidate.
Waterbowl.
Yeah.
Waterbowl. Looks like they're unsuccessful this time.
If in doubt in life. And actually, here now, Alex has got himself a little bit split.
yes, he has. Yeah. Obviously, at the time, fairly confident in his numbers on the top of the pitch,
Yeah.
but failed to
I think Matt's just
consolidate.
contemplating whether to try and free up the dwarf here.
I think he's moved his turn.
I realise it's turn 4.
Yeah. I think I'd be tempted to do everything else, but he's obviously got Blitzer tagged down on the bottom of the screen.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
I would go for a 3+ dodge.
Yeah.
You know, he's doing absolutely nothing there, even on a 1 dice.
And he's got guard, by the looks of things.
Yeah.
So it'd be really useful to get him into the mix if he can do.
Yeah, I was just pointing out as well.
So this is Alex just considering his options there, I think. Not commentator Alex, he knows exactly what he's doing, he's going to the loop. Ringbeard
So yeah,
is...
so Matt is going for that dodge to try and get the dwarf back into play.
Yep,
It looks like
he's made it.
no, it was a 2, I think.
Oh, is that a Troll Slayer, is it? It's not a Blitzer, obviously, so it must be a Troll Slayer.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep, that's his Troll Slayer
That's
getting
Troll
out.
Slayer, yeah. Okay, so that's interesting. So
Interesting.
Matt's only got one reroll left. So
Yeah. Yes, that could tell with half the half still to play. As you can see, obviously Matt isn't afraid to roll the dice when he has to. So how can Alex recover from this slightly?
yeah, so what looked like quite a very strong position 2 turns ago.
Yep.
Flips on the head again, so it's, I was beginning to worry we're going to have quite a boring half.
Yes.
Just Alex slowly applying the pressure, but it looks like that double one has blown it all wide
Well,
open.
you wouldn't have thought it either, would you? From the position, you wouldn't have thought that double one at that position could have put Alex in such a pickle. But obviously he hadn't protected behind the ball carrier quite as much as maybe he should have. But I think
And now, so in fact, that's Troll Slayer and the Dwarf next row. They're now actually trying a bit of a blockage to try and get his own players behind them
Yeah.
to try and offer a bit of support. So Alex decided just to pick up that white before he does a block, which is always sensible.
yeah, you always look for the dice-free moves first, don't you?
And one of my favourite uses of the dice cup, you roll the dice, you spot something, you do it, and then you reveal the dice. It's classic play. Alex,
Yeah, that's a big difference between tabletop and fumble, isn't it? There is nowhere to hide on fumble.
no, but as soon as it's clicked, it's clicked. Okay, and Alex is now, looks like he's blitzing with the ball carrier.
So he is. He's moved up the ball carrier for the 2 dice, cleared a path.
Things have changed here, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's another big armor break for Alex.
Oh, dear.
A break at the right time.
And that's
That's big. Well.
As well.
Yeah.
That looks dead. That is dead. As Alex goes into his cage to try and pick up another zombie.
Yes,
Watching from here.
1-1, but it's going out his way.
Dad, watching from here.
So,
Visitors from
So
out of
that's
town.
his spare movement. He's used up his movement allowance now, I think. Freed up the assist.
yeah, nice work.
Just
Always,
looking around.
obviously, it is a risk blitzing with a ball carrier. As you can see, we can roll a double one at any time, or similar dice. So
Well, it's come off in both halves.
it has
the,
come off.
Necro, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a really long way back here for Matt. So even if Alex goes in for the score,
So Alex is counting out positions for the blitz to potentially come from. Just trying to get that ball as safe as
Yeah, amazingly, in Blood Bowl, you have to think about what your opponent might do as well.
a strange game. So I don't like it.
It's a weird concept sometimes to think about. The game would be a lot easier if it was just you.
actually, having said that about Matt, he'll still be on 11 players? Oh no, three
No,
have
no,
gone
he's
off,
got
he'll be on 10.
he's got 2 off, so he's got 10 players.
He's got 3 off at the minute, hasn't he? One.
He's got 4 off right now. 2 in the reserves, 2 in the dead and injured box. Matt has.
Okay, start with 12 players, so yeah, he's down to 8.
That's way right now, but
Matt,
on the score he's back to 10.
So that was a dodging zombie, and just half. Alex wisely does not use a reroll on the zombie.
He does not.
No, it's not that time at all. So maybe here, is there anyone? There is a route to the ball carrier.
Hey, potentially again, just on the 4+.
Another one of those, yep.
That
Yeah, he doesn't-
Crosslayer could dodge out.
Yeah, he doesn't need to go. It's just one dodge, isn't it? So. All right, no,
it would be,
two
it
dodges.
would go for it to get to it.
Oh yeah.
Go for it to
Just
hit the
throw
ball
his way up
carrier.
top, I mean.
So it'd be a dodge and go for it.
Got that reroll left
At least
there.
one go for it.
As shenanigans go, it's not too bad.
Well, I mean, yeah, I've seen worse, more difficult plays come off.
And it looks like there's a 2 dice block there, yeah, just to free that player up
Yeah.
there. Okay, that's
pushes though.
not what he wanted.
No, that really only just kind of blocks himself off.
Well, unless they're going to go for this. They're going to go for the surf there. I mean, I wouldn't be wanting to throw a 1 dice just yet, unless it was on the ball carrier.
So yeah, he's
Oh,
going to
he's
follow up.
fine.
I think
Okay.
he's going to, because he realised he may well have blocked himself off there if he wants to get another play through.
If he gets the surf, Alex ideally wouldn't want to score next turn, because again, he would give Matt 3 turns.
There's a
to
player
get the ball
off.
back.
Yep, true.
So a good roll here would be quite nice for Matt. Oh, he's KO'd, is he?
No,
No, I don't.
that's another.
Oh, he's reaching.
It was a casualty, yeah. Well,
Oh, that's the blitz.
okay, so he declared a blitz there with a must be a runner
1, 2.
with that much movement.
So we're going to push here.
Ooh, that's a 1. Ooh,
That's his last reroll gone, and he's another snake eyes.
Very slippy underfoot.
Well,
tonight.
this is going all sorts of directions,
At least
isn't it?
at least the floor hasn't got mighty blow.
Huh.
So that again just adds to that feeling of this
Yep.
being Alex's to lose.
So again, Alex just moving players around that he doesn't need to roll dice for.
So again, I think ideally he'd probably look to start at least 1 more turn, because 3 turns for the Dwarf is a definite doable, whereas
Yeah.
the 2 turns it sort of makes
Yeah.
And he's
it harder and harder from there.
Yeah, because he's still got 1 runner, isn't he? So
That's right. And again now, even Alex has not got too many players who are able to get back and support, I don't think. They're all
No.
future tied up as well.
Well, it's sometimes a telltale sign of turnover, poor play.
yeah, poor play, yes.
Of a turnover game where all of a sudden your turn ends halfway through what you wanted to do. Because ordinarily you wouldn't see both of these teams being spread out quite so much and slightly out of position. You'd see maybe one or the other.
But again, I keep banging around about it, but with the 2 Ag 3 Wolves out, again, Alex does only have 4 Ag 3 players on the pitch, so again, he's not hugely manoeuvrable himself now. So I think Alex keeps looking over, he's trying to work out, can I stall, should I stall?
Yeah.
It definitely looks like he's going to leave a possible shot on the ball carrier.
I don't think this, without some big dog dice, I don't think he can get it secure.
I've not seen. He must have used his golems
That's what I'm thinking.
frame hitting dwarves, because otherwise he would have automatically have moved those
They'd
up.
be straight there, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
He's now he is looking for somewhere to hide, basically.
So I think he's looking at that white in the bottom corner so he can form some part of the cage as well.
Possibly.
Now I've seen Matt. If he's
So here comes a ball
Hello?
move.
Yeah, I think the zombie
So this is
coming
guarding, he's assisting zombie.
yeah.
first. He's a bit of a star, this zombie. That's quite clever, I think. Just try and block in those dwarves,
Yeah.
because you cannot make yourself safe. At least make it risky for him
Yep.
to try and get
Yep,
into
yep.
you to make the dice rolls.
Now this position, would you put your ball carrier a square away from the end zone and leave it, or would you keep it closer to your players? So in terms of just that line of squares in front of the end zone,
No,
in
I
case
think
your opponent rolls a push, like that.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best place to be for it. Again, there's fewer dwarves down this part of the pitch, and we're starting to get a situation where there are more of his players knocking around.
Yeah.
So he's counted that out. So is that dwarf at the bottom just
Yeah.
out of range, or is there a 1 dice or a 1, 2, 3?
No, I think that's a line. That's a long
Double push
lineman,
for
isn't
the
it? So
contact. That is now obviously out of rerolls as well. So that's,
Yeah.
so again, it's all pure blood bowl.
I mean, with the blitzer, there's a 4 up, 3 up. Would go for it as it stands to blitz. But I think that was what Alex was working out. So yes, it's all really. I mean, if Matt can perpetrate some nonsense here, or even put Alex in for the score, that would give him a shot. But if Alex can get 1 more turn out of this,
you can see Matt
2 more turns. Sorry.
lining up. There you go. He was lining up whether he was turning players around or whether he was thinking about blocking actions first. He's very much clearly feeling on the aggressive
I mean, obviously, if
on
Alex,
the offense.
if you can get Alex to even, if you can force Alex to score because we're putting the pressure on next turn, he'll still have 2 turns. So.
Yeah, that's not inconceivable with dwarves.
I think Alex would try and score next turn. I think in such a position right now where all you need is if Matt's out of rerolls and he just goes for a 4+3+ dodge for 1 dice power. Sophistication to happen, which means, you know,
it's going to happen.
Exactly. So, might open up with a block there. I think that's a both down from someone.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought he might do that. So that's
okay.
So he's just hit a resting piece, I think, with the Troll Slayer, but that does free up a blitz or a. I think that's the blitz of that one.
Yeah, so that's quite nicely done there.
So he can get in, but I think he's going to need a dodge to be able to blitz. 1,
I think so.
3, 4, 5. Yeah, so a dodge and a blitz.
So 3 up.
I might even need both go for it.
Yeah.
No, I think he's moving 5 this far.
Is this the blitzer, is it?
Yeah. Find out in a second. That's 1, 2,
3, 4, 5. That's 5.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Also-
we're avoiding the dodge and just going for
Yeah.
the 2
This is a big
2
one.
or more.
This is a big
This is
one.
and there we go.
That's not what I want to see. That's not what I want to see.
Well, that's a
Both players.
drama right there.
Yeah, both players have experienced quite a bit of that this evening.
So this is where Alex is going to have a look to see. So I think Alex, I would try and throw a couple of blocks now just to see, do I do any damage, do I get any powers, am I getting pushes?
I'd be very tempted to move that ball carrier.
But by moving the ball carrier, you made the decision whether to stall or not.
Yeah.
So if you do a couple of blocks, see what happens.
But I think in that position,
I think we're going to see a stall now. So that's another dwarf off the pitch.
KO
Yeah.
with a 9 on the injury roll. No amount of there's no skull thick
so
enough.
now we've got another free zombie down this
Yep.
bottom of the pitch.
Well, that I think has probably sealed Matt's fate, losing that player down there.
So blitz here from the golem to free up the other golem.
I think if Matt can bring himself to.
The only issue is that Alex is rolling dice with his ball carrier completely exposed.
But I don't think he's going to get in any sort of a better position.
Well, yeah, personally I potentially would have moved the ball carrier down to the bottom of the picture, regardless of whether that block removed the dwarf or not, because he's then closer to a couple of assisting players and away from that loose dwarf.
Scored. So he has scored. I was
he's
very
gone in.
surprised. I thought he would have held that from the team.
In that position, taking another dwarf off, yes, I'd have stalled for another turn.
It'd be interesting to see whether, I mean, obviously.
But
Obviously, Alex is thinking get the score on the boards, you know.
Yep.
The pressure's now on Max again. Matt's not
no rerolls, yeah.
No rerolls.
Yeah.
He's got to pick up the ball.
He's a player down.
Play it down, yeah.
What did Alex start with? 14?
He started with 12, I believe.
So he's got 2 out.
So he has that. In fact, it's 10v10, I believe it.
10.
Oh, I thought he had a 13-man roster. Right.
Be interesting to see. Obviously, in the first half, it really felt like Matt made an error by not at least getting one more turn out of his drive.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think Matt is
Absolutely.
still. He's still got that sort of like clinical hardness yet of the return of the ball. So, you know, we saw the score and he went through, whereas the more you play, the more you learn to appreciate the story.
Do you mean that moment where you suddenly realise the joy is gone from the game?
I mean, that's really is the moment when Bloodbowl stops being a hobby and he starts being a hatred.
A grind,
Yes.
an albatross.
So that's when the
An albatross is hanging
Stockholm
off your monkey's
syndrome
back.
really starts to sink in.
But that's where they kind of, the enmity and the disgust and the hatred kind of just really builds up in a rivalry.
And that's been my life
Yeah.
for the last 10 years.
Yeah. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see here whether, obviously it's not too unlikely that Matt might get a re-roll from the kickoff.
No, yeah, you've got the possibility of a riot or a re-roll or a favourably positioned rock.
With dwarves here, I mean, would you be tempted to pick a side? 2 turns to go.
I think with
Alex
2
got
turns
quite
to
even
go, the
coverage.
only issue is, I mean, there's 2 stand firms, but Alex has spread them obviously. So I think you'd have to. I don't think in this position you've got the numbers to consolidate in the middle and drive for 2 turns. You do have to push.
I think I would do pure Waterbowl. Just run people down.
And there's
Go
no
for cost.
and there's no wolves. There's no wolves. So
Exactly, yeah. So that's
Yeah, true. Yeah, the ghouls are nowhere near as effective sweepers.
See some aggressive position there, right on the line.
So I think I'd leave one runner back to pick up the ball, and I think I'd probably go in for some sort of pass shenanigans.
So ideally from that here, it's kind of like
So it's
okay,
a
it's just-
small kick. Not going to move very,
Okay,
very
I thought
far.
that was the kickoff.
so right for a second. So yeah, you'd be hoping for what, 3 here?
Let's see. 9 to
Quick
snap.
snap.
Nine,
So that's pretty
quick
good.
snap, so that's helpful for the dwarves. They get a free square movement anywhere they want.
And so the ball may bounce into his hands if he's lucky, and he's going to be able to start the half in Alex's half.
So I just start my hands.
And obviously this is the Skaven dream. Quick snap a go-go.
So ball bounces to 3. I
Where's it
think
gone?
he's just behind.
Okay.
Okay, it's not too bad. Not too bad.
Pick up, hand off, run, maybe. Or
So I think the first action. No.
No.
Okay. I think his first action should be just to run one player forward, because
Yes.
if this goes
oh,
forward,
thank goodness for the game.
always go for a handoff. This,
Come on. He's got it. Well,
my heart was literally in my mouth and eyes.
well, for those watching, thank God for those 2 rolls. But yeah, there's no way that I would have started with that. This is a 6 for off the roof.
Oh,
Holy moly.
this was a pass. He's going straight for the pass.
Is that 4?
Yeah,
Oh my word.
that's to go for it.
No, don't.
And then they go for it.
Why? What? Ah! Oh, good lord.
No, he's opted against the second go for it. Just get the ball up there, and I think he's going to try and get as many plays as safe as he can.
I want to get some contact on here, some blocking done.
It was a 2. Yeah, so
I
just
can't watch, this is killing me. Obviously, you guys watching, please do watch, but yes.
so the big worry at the moment obviously has got to be that golem there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Long push for a 2 dice block. So
Okay, we've got some blocking coming, so hopefully these go to plan.
So that's 2 dice there. So I think that was some form both down.
Okay. Well, that's freed up a player there, which is good. And
I think that was from the strength 4 lineman maybe.
yeah,
Oh no,
so we're going to count.
excellent. Yeah, so we just put the stacker zone on that golem.
So where's the blitz going to come here, I wonder? Is there going to be a blitz? He's got possibilities to free up 2
I thought maybe
players.
blitz from one of those guys in the centre.
Yeah.
Tag
The
White.
Frenzy, yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
that's
so-
the draw slide.
Nice, so he's moving out of the way. That's good. So,
No on break.
Yeah, we've had a breakaway.
I almost did a
Breakaway dwarf run.
I almost did a breakdown watching those dice
And
rolls.
oh, really? Yeah, with no rerolls, everything Matt does now is a little risky.
It was the fact that, I mean, obviously, there's no good time when you're going to rerolls, but because he went bravely and started with all the handoffs and stuff.
Oh my word.
And the pass.
Yeah.
Not getting anybody in range.
No. But obviously, he's done it now very
The
nicely.
pass.
Yep.
Oh,
So
well.
if I counted credit though, I think Alex can
Oh,
get
is that an armour break?
it is. But I think inside of the pitch against his own, Alex has literally no cares about that at this point.
Oh, if Matt goes in,
Yeah, I think there's a 1 dice blitz. I think from a
Well.
top left hand side.
Matt,
This is Bloodbowl, folks.
so we're going to be looking. Alex having to pull out some 1 dice fruitiness in a minute.
Looks like it.
Well, this is a more tense finish than it looked like it was going to be.
This
a
is,
few turns
yeah,
back.
down to the wire
That,
for unexpected dwarf rescue.
okay, well, people need. There's only the 1 player in.
So yeah, Alex
Oh,
counts
2
on
players in
7.
range, maybe. There's 2 in range. 2 1 to Alex so far. This is the last. This might be the last turn. Maybe.
The 1, 2, 3, 4,
No, I
5,
do believe
6,
this is the only one
7.
in range.
So what's the one tagging?
I think it's a
So,
lineman
so
tagging.
the 2 two ghouls are the furthest left.
I
The
think
lineman
the-
tagging that
So it's
goal.
1 shot with the lineman, is it?
Yeah.
Yep.
So the purple ghoul is being tagged there by the lineman.
So straight up, 7 move,
So is
tag
this
the
a
ball
blitz or
carrier.
is this going to be a tag?
I think that's a tag.
And then dodge out for the blitz, whichever way he wants to come.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a wrestle on the blitz as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So as long as he does, Alex has got rerolls to counter that
Tackle.
Yeah.
So that's it. Alex is now thinking after his dodge, which angle direction does he come in for?
Maybe he's going to go.
I think he's just trying to put as much cover on the dwarf, so if things do go wrong, he's then not free to be able to blitz someone out of the way.
Yeah, with Matt having one turn left, his actual options for getting free are limited. So it's going to have to be probably as audacious a blitz as Alex is looking at winding up here.
3 plus the reroll, audacious.
He's doing the 2 plus block here, isn't he? Not 2 plus. He's doing the 2 less block first to free up.
I think he's blitzing his ghoul out.
Is he going to block the lineman and free up the ghoul to dodge out and blitz?
That's the goal. No, that's the goal tagged by the lineman, I think.
So that purple skill ring ghoul.
So again?
Those are Alex's players, aren't they?
Yes,
Yep.
but
He's not moved.
but he's the blitzer, we think. So
But
the purple,
I could say he could block. If he blocks,
no,
that frees
that's
up.
a zombie had just moved in.
So it's moved the zombie in.
Yeah, okay, so this is
So
big
this is
then.
going to be a
This is
ball
the blitz.
carrier
So
blitz.
This is the roll.
So that's the dodge roll. He's gone straight in for the
Russell,
to leave his.
Russell off-screen roll. Here's a dice I prepared earlier. So push this.
That's pushes. Alex is thinking, do I re-roll this? Because a double skull is disastrous, but I think we've got to take it.
You've got to take
This
that.
is the big
yeah.
roll. This is the big
could
roll.
be.
Oh, it's pushes again.
Double pushes again.
So Matt's going to have a shot.
He is going to have a
I
shot.
think I would have.
I'd have pushed him a square
I'd pushed
back.
him.
Yes, exactly. Because he'd still. In fact,
Let's see what he does here.
he can't dodge backwards anyway, so yeah, I think that's maybe a mistake. So as it is, it's a 5 plus 4 plus, I believe.
Okay.
So a dodge
Golem
from the.
dodging, isn't it?
No, I think that's the white.
That makes more sense.
Well,
So one dodge.
Mo's going to push.
Oh,
Reroll goal and the white's on his
that's
bum.
So now has Matt got
2, 3, 4.
So if Matt can make a 2
1, 2, 3, 4. So I think what Matt could do is a 1 dice blitz and 2 go for it. So he has to, that's what he's doing. So we're on to 2 go for it.
He's done it.
It was a runner.
That was a runner.
I thought it was a lineman.
No, that was a runner who
that is huge.
so that was what Matt made that look like a very simple
Beautiful play.
equaliser, but that was fraught with risk.
That was amazing. So, and Matt now has the numerical advantage.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So that was a really ballsy touchdown.
That was
So
Alex there, not obviously thinking.
So
I
we've
think
got
it's-
one.
Gotta do what you gotta do, haven't you?
Got one reroll left for going into overtime.
Yeah.
That's Alex's.
Yeah,
As ever, the kickoff is huge, but Alex is 2 wolves down now and a zombie.
So, no,
Yes.
the zombie came back.
No, he's got 3 players out there. Isn't
no, the zombie
he? Oh, did he?
did.
Oh, did he?
The zombie reach it.
I thought he failed. I thought the last one failed.
Oh, I think you are right.
Because
Yeah.
one regen and one didn't.
No, yeah, the zombie regen.
No, I-
Did he?
Core. How many players are in Alex's
1, 2,
casualty
3,
box?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Other.
Well, it must be. The zombie must be in there because he's got 9 on the pitch.
So, as contractually obliged, as we've gone into another half of action here, we need to give another shout out to Dan's mum.
Dan's mum. I mean,
Yeah, so 2 wolves out and the zombie.
you know,
so
keeping us
Alex
going
down to 9. Looks like.
throughout the season.
Did they do a coin toss for this or?
I don't know that they're healthy. Maybe they're dicing off now.
Don't think they've done that.
Oh,
Well,
wait,
Alex
Alex
must
is
have
out.
rolled. It must have rolled. And Matt must have won the toss.
Well, this is immense, but obviously the lack of reroll
Very
could be.
yes.
So we're playing 2.
Should there be a coin toss?
I guess they're diced off.
So is it definitely overtime?
Yeah. Just go and double check. They're diced off.
Well, yeah.
No. Just ask Alex if the dice off the rolls. Ask Alex if the dice off the kick or receive the rolls.
So again, we've just sent our glamorous roving reporter, Barnstable J. Lurker, to check out what happened here.
Just to double check that they.
Well, dice are being rolled, so
Yeah.
this might be what's causing the pause on the cup.
Yeah, so we had a bit of brief panic there, but no, I took a word with Alex and he said they did do a dice off. Matt won, obviously chose to receive the situation.
Yeah.
So I believe it works. It's overtime. Is it 2 turns of 4 with a golden goal to?
I believe so. That's a roll of 6 for the pickup from Matt there. So he's. Or for the catch. So he's got the ball without needing to roll any extra dice.
And let's see. I mean, again, as with the
But it's a deep kick and got 4 turns. So
Yeah.
and this is that similar. He had to do this against Dave Minnis in their epic quarter-final.
Yes, he did.
He received the ball in that game in overtime in his end zone, I think, and scored on 4 turns with Go For It's. So let's see.
So it's he's in his own wheelhouse. It's in his wheelhouse. This kind of performance for Matt.
And in the last, I've seen in each of the previous halves, the team receiving has been the team getting the edge with the armor breaks.
Yeah.
So if you can have that in this one, that will be
See Matt there.
immense and definitive
Well, I think so.
because it's sudden death.
Can you say that a bit more dramatically there?
It's sudden death.
Excellent. Okay, so yeah,
So Matt's elected to screen off his runner there, potentially maybe using players he can't spare at the moment.
Possibly a bit nervous after.
I think so. After
He left himself open in the first half.
Yeah, it's definitely on his mind. But with 4 turns, Matt really doesn't have to push.
and he's a player up, I believe, as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just one player up, yeah.
So, and Alex has got a choice to make here as well about how aggressive he chooses to be.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's on the back foot at the moment.
He doesn't have to score. 4 turns is a little bit easier to hold out for.
True. Yeah, he could. Yeah, Alex does not have to.
Stand in the way.
Yeah. Alex does not have to retrieve the ball here. He could just stall out the 4 turns.
See, if we go the full 8 turns of overtime and it's still level, then it'll be a dice off. And if either player has a re-roll after the end,
Yep.
they can add that to
the dice roll, yeah.
in the first instance, unless they tie. If they tie, obviously, that advantage disappears.
So from that position that Alex was in again on the sidelines, halfway through the second half, it is now all to play for. You would potentially even say that the ball is actually in Matt's court.
It's certainly in his half, isn't it?
Well, it is his half. That we can definitively say.
You can't see it at home, folks. We've got a rampaging Danish man.
Well, a rampaging Dane. Yeah, I mean he's unfettered, unshackled. If he speaks, you probably hear you'll hear the rumble in the background.
Yeah, he's working on taking his voice down to the levels of Peter Lauf.
Something we all dream of doing.
Yeah.
The elephant whisperer.
Yes, Peter wasn't here at the Waterbowl this year, but his voice is still echoing from the year before.
So I think it looks like we're going for a strength 4. With strength 4 guy with an assist on that golem.
Okay. I guess the one here, I mean, assuming they've remembered it's 4 turns, Matt can also afford to be a touch more aggressive as it progresses, given how hard it is for Alex then to turn him over and get to the other end.
True. So, Matt's second turn, he's made quite safe progress to the halfway line, which is right on schedule, or schedule for
People like
transatlantic followers. Which one is it? Schedule is English or schedule is American?
Not too sure.
I don't know.
If only had a resident speech therapist who should have known something.
Yeah, I'm a speech therapist. I deal with speech sounds and semantics, but
If anybody knows out there,
Please let us know in the comments.
you don't need to. It's only a small.
if you send us your answer on a stamped address envelope to Element Games here at Alan Mill, any correct answer will win a small prize.
Oh, yeah. So they've got a question from Mike
A blue
asking about
badge.
the 4 turn overtime, fancy rules.
That's right, Mike. We're all about the fancy here at the Waterbowl, as you know.
Yeah, so I think it just makes it a bit more even overall, doesn't it? I think with
Yeah.
the 4 turns. Both give us a turn for bash and or agility, and you still got the golden goal then to
It reduces a touch how vital that receiving is.
exactly.
Yeah, true.
Because again, you don't have the full 8 to just to bash and grind your way down. You've got to make some kind of aggressive move.
Yeah. Or really, really cage up. Do what Core did in that final and just kind of pick a corner. Or
Yeah,
go, right,
yeah.
come and get me.
I would say it is just a 4 turn, so if that is on the halfway line, that's a very long way for little dwarf and their little leg. So,
And we've seen already in this game some key go for it's snakes, and Matt's got no
Got no safety net.
safety net. Although he didn't need it for his showbiz.
but I would say that I think that is best case scenario. It is at least one go for it from that now, isn't it? So,
Yep.
we do know there's an almost 1 in 6 chance of a dice.
Almost. Unless you're Barney and it's near the end zone, in which case it's almost 5 and 6, but it will fail.
As long as I don't hear the word spuds and check.
Speaking of the Spuds Check, the Stunty Slam and its wonderful Spuds Check round will be back Saturday, September 15th.
I do know it's officially Barney the Lurker Spuds Check.
It is
round.
officially the Barney the Lurker Spuds Check.
There's a TM in there somewhere, isn't there?
With there'll also be Limping the Squig, the usual winter weather.
We were talking earlier how that might have been quite cool in the press, but if you can just see his left hand there with that dice, that is going like the clappers.
Betraying pure nerves right
And
there.
one of our spectators has fed back that Google says the British is mostly schedule.
Oh,
and
look at
American
this.
is mostly schedule.
Ask and ye shall receive. Thank you very much.
That's who else but our good old former president?
Former president, yes.
president.
Oh, there you go, yep. Sam.
Now, Mike, that is, on the one hand, that's more helpful than sending a stamp to this envelope, but because you didn't send a stamp to this envelope, you can't actually get a prize for that.
Doesn't count.
But thank you for
it
your
doesn't
help.
count.
Which is a shame because like in true Bullseye style, look at what you could have won. There is a boat here with your name on it.
Yeah, it took us ages to drag it here.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I thought he might have put his the guard in the middle of that mix there. but
Yeah, me too. But obviously he wants to keep his guard close to his ball carrier. Always guard your balls, people. Even if you don't have any.
So that's yeah.
Well, Mike's asked, what's the paycheck on this game? Obviously, it is the big money game of the season.
This is
So
the
best
big money
case
game. It's
scenario
the
now
mini
he's
spinner.
he's got at least one go for it to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe they are referring to this in the local press as the £5 or £6 game.
I mean, it is part of an ACCA in conjunction with the Dungeon Bowl on the other side of Element Games here, and I think some random D&D game going on at the same time. Get good odds.
And United Seville,
And United Seville tonight.
which was
believe it.
which was 0-0 at half time. I don't know if there's been any update there. If anyone's watching the United Seville game,
I think it's 3-0 to Sevilla at the moment.
that can't be true.
The very mention of it has brought Alex out of a sweat.
Like any more reasons.
Well, you will go running at ridiculous hours of the day and ridiculous distances. Oh, we have an update here from the local.
Oh, nice. It's the BBC and Sky Sports agree.
It's always good to see that. So Matt is rolling some block dice here to clear.
Interesting. We've still got a dodge through 1 dice splits the ball carrier there.
Yep.
So again, even
Is he
on a
engineering
push,
to the-
pushing it further away from more dice than Matt would have to make.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's
So
called it
that's
on
Matt
there.
is-
So
Call time on his turn.
Yeah. In another news, Ollie's just taken his top off across the field. 2-2. Overtime now.
So what do you think
So,
Alex is
here
going
we
to look
go.
at this turn, Alex? Anything?
Well, he's
okay.
clearly got a 2 dice
Yeah.
block, 2 dice splits coming up. He had a spare white at the back on the far side
So I
that
think
he's
this is
brought
the
round.
blocking goal, blocking Dwarf. That was
So I
off screen,
think
but
Alex has just rolled potentially a double both down there because he didn't move the dwarf.
there
So
was a flick of the screen, so I do assume that was a slamming of the fist.
yeah,
Mike Kaduskin maybe so just rolled his dice.
Call.
Call.
Maybe his dice back on the table.
I think Alex has moved his dice mat because the play is pushing down that side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, quite tense. I don't think Cole wants to interfere too much.
So, thank you.
So we went for the blitz with that wrestle ghoul, I think, instead to get an extra marker on the ball carrier,
Yeah.
rather than attempt
play,
a risky dodge first.
So,
sensible call from Alex there, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the honing that slight conservatism in the tournaments sometimes can really
Again,
help.
he's not worried there because he can't score himself. Bless him, he can stop the Dwarf scoring. He's
Yeah.
not going to fall to it.
Yeah, because there's nobody with those wolves off the pitch. There's
Yeah.
nobody to send through to the other.
He's had to use his goals to get to stop the ball from moving.
Yeah. So. But it's not disastrous. I mean, obviously, it'd be ideal from that if you can score. But if you can get lucky and chip somebody
He's got
off the pitch.
4 plus 3 plus 2 plus. What is it? 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus at the moment. Depending on what the magic he can conjure up.
Well, he's a magical man.
He is indeed a magical man.
But yeah, but if you can chip another.
There's only one go for it
player-
required, though, isn't there?
Say again, sorry?
There's only one go for it required for the runner.
Is there 1, 2?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I keep thinking it's
Trying to make it more tense than it is, and it's already quite tense.
4, 3, 1, 2. The countdown. Just win.
So we still.
And there's 2 guards on it as well, so
Yeah.
quite risky.
Yes.
So I don't think there's no even sort of pushes to try and get out of the situation either, is unfortunately.
I think Matt, definitely a cool customer in this position. Although maybe that's why he's picking his fingers a little bit nervously. My stomach would be.
Yeah, I think he's.
My stomach would be turning knots at this point.
The board out. I think Tim's going to just try a bit of a correction.
So yeah, Tim's just come to move the pitch, and we have requested that he moves that dwarf player forward 1 square. Just
Steve! Well, we're in the middle of the action here. We have one of our resident players, Steve O'Boyle, interrupting the final as it happens and delaying it even further.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I wasn't speaking to Alex, Alex was speaking to me.
Okay, yeah. So we are now into Matt's turn 4.
mental final, really tense.
Well,
So this is where we play the game of guess the guard. So I'm
Yeah,
trying to work out
yeah.
where 2 dice are.
That doesn't look great.
well, that was
no, it's
a
power,
skull
wasn't it?
power by the
Power,
looks of it.
Oh yes, no, you're right. Doesn't look great, but it actually was.
So there we go. That looks like a decent armour roll.
Yep. And that's another
And
decent roll.
another one off.
Okay.
Well.
What's under the regen
Alex's
roll for Alex?
regen looks to be
A 2.
A 2.
Okay, so
Well, so
Okay.
that's 4 failed
and
regens by
another
Alex
skill,
in this
another
game.
skill off the pitch.
He's very unlucky.
That looks like a pow.
Yep.
So obviously, I mean, this is all very helpful, but
It's not getting that ball any closer to the end zone, is it?
It is not, no, and he's essentially rolling dice for no reason. With his last turn to go, maybe he's
Always a
thinking
reason.
he can maybe I don't know.
so what would you do here? Would you go straight out for 4-3?
I'll have a look to see if I can blitz off one of those. Or
I'd
it's just a 3
attempt to
plus.
I'd attempt to blitz.
I think that's why he's just trying to clear off some of those players on the other
Here
side.
comes the guard, yeah.
That's a good idea, isn't it?
Oh, that's a strength. No, just a 1.
But
it's
there's
the
a pow.
blitz. Oh, it's the blitz. Power to the-
One die blitz.
Senior pal.
So it's all. So let's see the armor roll first. Is that
Armour rolls
5? Is that
5 or something, so that's fine. So
this is
here he
the one.
comes.
3 up.
Razzle dazzle.
The 3 up dodge.
Who knows what that is? It's
Okay, so with a dodge skill, it wasn't. That could well be.
It looks to me that was a fail.
That was a
Yeah.
fail. That was a 2-1 or 1-1.
he's
So
okay
it's
though.
okay though.
So Alex will get.
Alex is not in scoring range at all, so it's not.
So we're just taking a
Alright.
pushy, and then on to Alex's.
The question here is like when Alex, because of it spreading out his tag, he's not really in a position to get in and put the boot in on that runner.
No. And at this point, it's
numbers down.
irrelevant.
Numbers down,
down,
yeah. I
numbers
don't
down.
think. I think it just. Oh, he has got a surf there on that. I think on this
yeah.
layer at the bottom. So that's try and get him off.
So if you can remove a second slayer, that would be.
Yes, it would.
That's
He's got him
power.
off. I
And
think.
indeed, crowd says.
Oh, thick
8.
skull.
Thick skull.
Big skull on the troll slayer.
That's come in handy for the dwarves
Trade in
twice this game.
reserves. Yes, it has.
Wow.
What does Alex do now?
I think was that a block or I think it was a block.
Yeah, it was a block, yeah. He's got a
Yeah,
blitz
so he's
for
got
it.
a blitz.
So it's a lot. I mean, what's Alex on? So if he was on 12, he's down to 8 now.
8, yep.
So
Matt currently on 9.
for half time, so Alex will be 10 10-8 down if no one else
Yes,
goes off.
because
Yeah.
that is just
So a bad kick could be
disastrous.
yeah.
It could be.
But obviously still time here to take another player off.
He's been sensible. He's still kept that rear also. You know, there's still flat, infamous go for it to the end zone.
So yeah.
So that's the first half of overtime gone.
Yeah, so
Yep.
still anyone's
Everyone's potato.
you have to say that the pendulum has swung back towards Matt with the numbers.
Would have thought so.
If I don't score, which I'm probably not going to,
D6 plus 1 for your reroll.
Yeah.
we've both said we don't want to end it. That's where we've got to try.
A big kiss.
It seems crazy to end the Premier roll on a D6.
Best of 3. But not games. Not games. Well, it's
Do you
still,
not think it seems great to end the Premier League
well,
on a
it's
D6?
still early. You could just
You're
read
not-
it.
I
don't know yet.
rather carry on playing.
If you're not good enough to win it,
We've said
you
we would
don't-
rather just keep doing the extra 4
well, it's nothing to do with you, is it? It's to do
Well,
with-
in that case, we'll do. If you'd rather do that, we
Yeah, I'd rather do that. Neither of us wants to win on the roll.
So you're going to continue doing 4 halves of overtime.
We're just going to, I think we'll just keep playing.
it's 9 o'clock.
Until someone
Yep,
scores.
Dan, if you're happy with that.
Okay, so last minute change up because both finalists really didn't want to end it on a dice off, and we're doing well for time. We've agreed to amend the rules, so we're going to keep replaying like in ice hockey, where I think we can get like triple and quadruple overtime.
Yep.
We're going to keep going in sets of 4 turns until somebody scores a touchdown or element games closes for the evening
Or for Christmas.
or for Christmas.
Good news is we don't close for 2 hours. I'm not sure if that's good news.
Settle in, folks. Get your crumpets in the toaster. Put your warm socks on.
What's the red line? Oh, it's not. Oh, I see. Sorry. That's okay.
So this is the reset now for the second half of overtime. So Alex, obviously, I would say in his current position, it was probably quite a sporting move.
Yeah.
He's men down. He was on top at one point.
I mean, I agree. It's quite. It is more satisfying to win.
Yep, through play rather
Yeah.
than. Yep.
I mean, particularly after playing. So our season, for this season, there were, depending on which division you were in, there were 9 or 10 regular season games.
Yep.
Plus, there'll have been 4 rounds of playoff
Playoffs,
games.
yep.
So to finish up on a D6 does seem a little bit harsh, but at the same
Had a
time,
big anticlimax as well.
Although quite often Bloodbowl does screw you with 1d6. So let's see here.
So Alex is receiving. Obviously,
And looking for a slight flanking to the.
looks like it. Well, he's gonna have to consolidate because he doesn't have any advantage in numbers. So
So the question is, what will Matt do if it goes deep left?
well, that's it.
Because obviously now that they've agreed to go in, to sets of 4 turns,
Yep.
the pressure is reduced slightly.
Yes, yeah, it's no longer the impetus there to,
So if it was
put the
just
pressure on.
if it's just 4 turns to go, you might be like, this is my one shot. I'd rather go this way and send people through, which obviously for dwarves is lethal if the ball gets picked up or goes past you the other way.
Yep.
And Alex has got, is it 2 ghouls?
Well,
Has
this
he
is set up. The ghoul at the back for the ball, and the ghoul at the.
If we could crack on, is that okay? Is that going to affect? Is that going to affect your nerves? Okay, that's cool. You look it. So that was Matt just asking if he got time to go for a cig, or whether he should crack on. And we've obviously encouraged.
Well, we denied it because he didn't get the therapeutic use exemption for this final. If he'd have applied for that in advance, we may have granted him that cigarette break, but we don't know what effect it would have on his play.
Yeah.
So here comes the kick.
So is that 3, 7, maybe?
7 for the scatter, I think. But we'll soon find out where it's
Sideways.
going.
Oh, it's got a
Sideways,
nice
so
good half
that's
for Alex.
advantageous for Alex on that
Who
side.
knows
Good
what
luck.
the other balls? Is it?
Very good. Just a random 1 die. So this is obviously kicking result was a re-roll, which looks
Alex
to
has
be.
got 2 now.
Yep, Alex has won that one.
Although, yeah, actually now I'd probably be thinking, shit, if we were going for a dice off, I could just have hung back maybe. Although with 8 players that would be cavalier.
It would have been risky. Would have been risky. So now then, Alex has got 4 turns to push this.
I mean, although he's been very unlucky to lose those 2 wolves, which is absolutely hampered his movement, in terms of blocking a line, having those 2 golems there as roadblocks is really useful. So as you can see, Matt's got his three dwarves on the line with him, but with there being a strength 5 and strength 4, it's very hard to shift, particularly when there's only 1 Dauntless player left on the pitch.
There is, yep. So this is the expected push forward initially from Alex. He knows that the dwarves can't get to the ball easily or quickly, so he's leaving that for the moment, getting players in range of scoring.
Nice and aggressive.
Putting the pressure on in the dwarves backfield quite quickly. So once his players are in position, he's probably going to then go for the ball and move it forward slightly. Dave, I hope you're enjoying those crumpets.
Another flash.
So yeah, Alex doing a pretty good job there. That's an armour break. At this point, this could be very useful. And it's Thick Skull has saved a dwarf again, so it's just a stun. Alex showing his frustration there with Thick Skull.
Well, Dave, you mentioned your crumpets and that you're enjoying them, but what are you having on your crumpets?
It's the age-old question.
Yeah. Or are you going fruity and having like a crumpet pizza?
Or crumpet sandwich.
A big thank you to Emily, one of the staff here at Emlyn Games, who's kept us refreshed throughout the game.
Barney the errant has returned from his roving reporting duties. What can you tell us about the Dungeon Bowl, Barney?
There's been 20 casualties by teleporter.
Excellent.
So the teleporters in Dungeon Bowl, you roll a dice, you can go to any one of 6 teleporters, and if you go back to your own, you're dead.
Is this a pass? No, phew.
No, I don't think Alex will be
Okay,
pushing
say Alex
that right
will be
now.
passing that.
And who knows?
So we can see there's a guard blitzer available.
So
to Matt
have we
there.
this is Matt's first turn?
Yeah, Matt's first
Yeah, there's a
turn.
Matt's first turn on the
Alex got
second
an extra
round.
reroll
Yeah.
on the kickoff. So I was saying he's probably going to be ruining the fact that they've agreed to go to repeating sets of 4 rather than going to dice off. Okay, so there's Pal there.
I think he's going to go for. Alex probably go for a quick score. I think he's worried about his number of his players.
Yeah, I think he is,
Is
yeah.
that an armor break? No,
No, I don't think so, no.
The dice isn't not the shield.
Just on a.
Well, I think it was.
No, was it?
Was an armour break?
Stun.
Just a stun.
Okay, so then. Oh, hello. Yeah.
Okay.
So tense things happening.
Is on.
Nicely done.
So this is the blitz.
No, that was just a tag. Just a tag.
So can he get someone into blitz him? Can he get someone into blitz him?
What's this?
Oh, no, it'd have to be a dodge, would it?
I think he might.
That's the torch. It's not the remaining torch.
He's tagged by a lineman there, so a zombie, by a white. Sorry, so it would involve a dodge to blitz. And at this point, it might be better just to kind of consolidate your position. We have a crumpet update. Dave Clarkson is a simple butter man. Sometimes you can't go wrong with butter, just butter.
No, that's true. It does depend where you put it. Ah, yes, there we go.
So just some pressure on the ball carrier there. Alex is now going to
Again, it's
roll some dice.
he's either want to try and get one player to blitz him off.
can see even here though. I mean, if he doesn't, on the mat, it's like a little gap through, isn't he? Thanks Dan for the update that the green ring guy blitzed.
Which green ring guy, Dan? If you could for the details.
Yeah, if you could just point at the screen for us.
So yes, obviously there's blitz to create a hole and then followed up.
That's it.
top.
Yeah.
Look at those elbows. Beautiful.
That's the elbows of a nervous man.
Championship elbows. Those. Thing is now with the dwarves having to set deep to cover Alex's.
So he can't actually score this turn, I don't believe.
No. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, the thing here is with 3 turns left, the dwarves can't score now unless it goes to the blitzer.
No, I think it's always too risky.
So it's a question of stopping Alex scoring and just kicking more lumps out of him.
Keep going, yeah.
If I was Alex, I think I'd go risky now. I think I would.
Yeah, it feels like
He's got
the
literally.
feels like the tide's turning, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little.
Okay, well, we've got Mr. Green to worry about, haven't we? So
Yeah.
I'll probably do something with this free zombie just above the ball to try and pop it out of the way. I think I'd be even tempted to blitz with that zombie, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And then that frees you up, you guy. Yeah, so he has done, yeah.
Yep,
So once
play the
again-
tackle zone.
I think I'd be even tempted to hand off to that ghoul and just, there's a, I think that's a non-lineman on in the
Oh,
way.
that's an armour break.
Yeah. Will he follow through on this?
No, it's a 9. He's finally beaten Thick Skull. That's got to be a small moral victory for Alex
And
right
that's a
there.
huge player to take off. And Ag 3.
Yep, Ag 3
Ag
guard
Garda.
player. Yep.
See, in other Blood Bowl news yesterday, obviously there was the NAF committee minutes went up on the various pages on the
Oh, I saw you
internet,
mention it. Yeah, yeah.
So there's a few things in there that might be of interest to any NAF members. Just about the World Cup rule set.
Yeah, it's been currently hashed
race.
out, isn't it?
Yeah. I think a Dungeon Bowl, which is that this weekend? It's certainly imminent. And no, it's April, is it?
Dungeon Ball, I thought it was early April.
Early April.
Was it early April?
March, I think it is.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, that's another armour break for Alex there.
Oh, hello.
So, there we go.
But also,
A stun dwarf is as good as a dead goose. Don't know.
So I think I should pull back for a turn.
oh yeah.
Alex is repositioning. He's
Going for a right,
Has that player moved? Did you just knock that player forward? The one
yeah, there's one slightly opposition, but he'll move it back. Yeah, he's just pushed it just slightly off his square. All right, Alex is now consolidating in the middle.
Yeah.
So I would have thought ideally to spread the dwarves a little bit.
And I guess with that protection of the wall of Golem in front of him.
again, further
Yeah.
on to our early discussion on schedule.
Yes.
Is it Golem or Golem? So,
It's Golem.
Mike, if you still,
I'd say Golem,
you're
but
still
the
watching,
company's
you
Golem,
could,
isn't it? Yes. Yeah, Mike, do you get involved?
I think it is golem because it's the Hebrew word, isn't it?
The words develop, Adam.
Yeah, that's true.
Just because it was said
Yeah, look
Golem years ago.
Yeah. And meanings to look at. Thank you, Mike. Mike has helpfully said Golem.
Well, I mean, we all know not to trust Mike's word on words. Word.
So Matt's go started.
Yep.
Let's see what he can do.
Stood his players up,
I mean,
moved.
if you can stem,
Again,
if
with
you can
So
knock the
he's
neck back over
just-
here.
Pat's got
Yeah.
to try and be a bit careful again, like he didn't do in the regular halfway. He left a gap for Alex just to run through, so he's got to try and be a bit.
Yeah, he doesn't want to.
But
Yeah.
this might be where Alex moving into the middle might help him a little bit because it's easier to box him a little bit here.
Potentially.
I was quite surprised, to be honest with you. I thought he may have put a bit of a punch and try and run through.
Yeah, I think Matt was unlucky there with the 2 dice on the golem or golem to not at least get the golem down. He's now tied up 3 players.
Very good, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh,
He's now gone for a 1 dice, so
successful
that's
dice.
there we go. So
That's what,
1 dice required.
so that's very helpful, isn't it?
That don't think so. No.
Oh, the dice. Okay, next time I'm just getting 2 turn dice. That's it. Okay.
So that leaves now Alex's cage is well, it's been slowed down by that golem
So
being knocked
and he
down.
really needs to make a push here if he wants to score
Yeah.
in this set of
Yes, he does.
overtime.
He's still got a 2 rerolls, so he can afford to be aggressive.
Oh, that
So
doesn't
he's
look
got
good.
another both down skull, which doesn't do anything.
Must see re-roll usage now is
Yeah, premium.
yeah. I think the game is going to keep going until Alex ends up with 6 re-rolls. But we have to call the game because we have to close.
Yep.
And then I'll go to dice off.
So yeah, I think that was probably from the golem onto with the dwarf running, just to try and push him out to create a little bit of a hole. Now with some of the other games starting to finish around about 11 games, we just get a bit of a crowd around the tables now. Just needed to see
Yeah,
what
happens.
happens.
There's some children who've now graduated to being fully grown adults. Oh, and we're moving down the
There's
other way
another
now.
move.
It's a hook back the other way.
He's just relying on that. Could have been a ploy by Alex all along to suck in the dwarves, which is always better
He
than
does like to suck in the dwarf and do that, from what I've heard.
So another suboptimal result for him there in terms of
yeah,
getting someone down.
yeah.
I believe not getting the person down is suboptimal in that sort of situation.
A push dwarf is as good as a dizzy duck. I think the phrase
Interesting,
is.
Alex maybe forming a little cage in the back, so
Yeah.
is he conceding this lot of overtime to maybe try for another one? Yes.
Maybe, yeah.
There he is. I think that might well be the first time we've seen a standard cage set up this entire game,
Yep.
which is
In fact, I think he
very
has, so has he
surprising.
conceded this round of overtime.
Well, he hasn't left himself in scoring range at the moment.
Maybe just hoping again for another armor break. Failed KO.
Well, there's another break there.
Arm break.
Oh, and he's got it.
Okay, I'm going to shut up now.
10-12. There you go. So that's
So that,
in terms of in terms of the remaining overtime swaps.
yeah, God, that's
Could be very
huge, isn't
useful.
it? So the KO role on that blitzer becomes even more important
Yep.
now
Yep.
because Matt's lost 2 of his Ag 3 players currently from the pitch. There's a runner out, isn't there?
I think there's a runner out and a blitzer
And
out.
a blitzer out.
Yeah.
So he's only got 2 Ag 3 left on the pitch.
Yeah.
And Alex has got extra bit of strength. Yeah, could really do with chipping a ghoul.
Yeah, that would be ideal, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Or Hollywood roll.
Oh,
Pushing them both down. is that?
Something. 2 pushes. Well, it could be both down because chosen not to use it. It's a wrestle player, that one, wasn't it? He's having another go at the golem. I'm going to continue golem. Saying golem, by the way.
Je l'aime.
Oh, hello,
big.
that's an armor break.
that's big.
That is a stud.
Is that a 1 at the bottom? Or not? Oh, Alex hasn't rolled reach, has he? Alex is texting Jeff Porritz,
Thick skull over the golems, yeah.
but not in the final.
It's a quick rules checker there on whether the golem comes with thick skull, and it does.
Yeah, so Thick Skull has been of tremendous use to both
Employed,
teams
yep.
here now. And that will help Matt just get in and perhaps conjure another 2 dice block before he's finished, maybe?
Possibly, yep.
So
I think we
give
may
him
be
2 goals.
losing
Away.
losing Alex from the commentary team soon, as
To swear about the Champions League.
yes, United have gone down 1-0.
United need 2 goals in 13 minutes.
Well, they did say that tonight's game for them was more important than the Liverpool game.
That's true. This from kind of pure Schadenfreude. Stuff in Liverpool is always more important.
Oh yes, the fuel of any football fan,
Yes.
Schadenfreude.
Oh, 2-0 down now. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Dave. You've sent me greatly. How'd you kick somebody from the chat? Yep, the same bastard. So Ben Yedder. Well, that is. Well, you know, we have to score 2, and now we just need to score 3.
Yeah, 2's the same as 3, really, isn't it?
Yeah, to a blind man.
Does Alex know?
You tell me why he put that run out so he could get served.
Who knows? Who knows?
In the turn, the only thing he has is run that run out away from everything. That run to just going 6 squares backward.
So if you just heard some interference there, that was no, it's okay. That was Core.
Raging at the dying of the light, I think, of Bloodbowl.
Yeah. So
Ours is not to question why.
no, ours is just to marvel at the
Sit and
wonder
cry.
and roll in front of us.
It looks very to me as Alex playing for a 5-turn run-off.
Yeah, perhaps.
Well, this is Alex's last. This should be his turn 4, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
So he's potentially just securing the ball, trying to get casualties.
Yeah, we'll prepare ourselves to go and tell them to stop. Otherwise,
Yeah, could just get carried away.
yeah, blow whistle. Leave it, guys. It's not worth it.
There's no such thing as turn 9, guys.
Or 5.
Yeah, he's hiding. Could potentially be going for a foul here.
So, obviously, if he goes through,
Yeah, I
that's,
think he's counter play, so
Yeah.
it looks like he's.
it's a huge.
But I think at the stage of the game, you trade a zombie for that run.
Oh, definitely.
yes.
Yeah.
I traded a zombie for a lineman.
Oh,
Oh,
fail the dodge,
failed dodge.
and it's not going to be. So,
Well, always considering it. No, he's not.
Oh, mixed dice there. I mean, that's just tantamount to abuse there, I think, from back there, using 2 different types of dice in the same roll. Sent a shiver through a lot of Bloodbowl players.
well, Alex
Spines
realised
there.
he's taken 4 turns. I'll just send him a.
So I think we'll just see a few dwarf boxes turn up with just to try and get a bit of damage on those.
Okay. So will we see anyone else exit the pitch here? Depleting. Oh, no, injury roll here. No? Oh no, push. Okay, and we're back.
Reset.
Yep. So we're going into triple overtime now.
Triple overtime.
Thirds. Yeah. You know the saying, you can't get too much of a good thing.
Well, this is proving it to be
Let's
true.
move the pitch back a little bit.
Yeah. So, let's see.
Here we go. So, can you call it a half, third half of
Yeah.
overtime of 4? So what is Alex going to attempt to do? His re-rolls up. I think he might have levelled it in terms of player numbers. Obviously, I think
Yeah,
the guarding
the blitz is not coming
course
back, is
come
he?
back. So what will Alex do? Will he go more aggressive? He's got that wrestle goal.
We'll see what happens, and I think he will go and chase down that ball.
Yeah. Yep.
So what is we're down to 1 runner, 1 blitzer, I think, for the Dwarves.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think goes heavy on the line again.
And again,
He's going line heavy, isn't he?
yeah. I have to
He's going
say,
to leave his ball carrier.
I think with so few players, I'd be tempted not to do
wouldn't,
that.
no.
It'd be like minimal contact.
Or if that's a deep kick, his ball carrier is going to be.
That's 3 in whichever direction.
Well, it's gone sideways.
Okay.
So
But again, if this is
Again, a failed pickup
Okay,
though.
so
8,
it's-
that's a re-roll, so potential chance for Matt to get something back.
Might be good, I can't see. No, it's too far away. So 1 each, or...
Let's see what they do.
And another reroll to Alex.
Another re-roll. So yeah, he is literally collecting re-rolls in this overtime. The ball goes diagonally backwards
Well, this
to the
will
left.
this will be an outrage if it goes to a dice off.
Alex is now requesting that we do in fact do a ace and death
We
dice
knew it
roll.
was coming. We knew it was coming.
So obviously you can see here from the... oh no, it's not the golem back, yeah.
He's had to. I think he's
So
had
he's
to put one
had
goal
to
back.
put one goal on the line. I think there's one goal at the top of the screen which has just been contacted, and then 2 white at the bottom corner.
So you can see Matt going aggressively here.
He's gone for the ball early, trying to get it moving.
He's got it.
He's got it.
Don't do that. If anyone would like to contribute to my
It's 2 all. We're into our 3rd period of overtime.
Yep.
if you'd like to get involved with my campaign to stop Matt rolling so many dice, just for the sake of my nerves, just put a message onto the chat. And that was once the day get kicks from the chat. Like I say, so Matt's just covering there, screening off a little bit in front of his ball carrier. I wonder if we're going to see just what was that, double pow?
Yes, that's a double power, I believe.
Now, see, we are still debating the pronunciation of golem.
Oh, Lukaku's pull one back. In the other,
Just need another 2 get calls now.
yeah, would be
Lukaku is the name of Matt's strength 4 lineman.
yeah. I wonder if we're going to see like 3 or 4 dwarfs in the backfield getting ready for a pass at the end of this.
I think that's entirely possible. I think we're probably going to see at least one of those whites of Alex is probably going to run around, I think, as well.
Yeah.
I think he's going to try and flank him a little bit, yeah. Because if nothing else, it just cuts down this space for the dwarves to move into.
Exactly, yeah. So he's going to want, that golem in the middle, just taking place.
That's the strength 5 golem, isn't it?
Yeah.
So an advantage there. Does he follow up or does he?
he has, yeah.
Leaving that one free, so he's cutting down the flank space.
But he's not gone through the armour there, as you can see, just 6.
Still going on to third half of overtime.
Third half
Still on the
overtime.
microphone for commentating as well.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. No, you can carry on.
I want to spoil the no doubt very professional
So you can
broadcast
see,
that
you can see
the
that
Waterbowl is known for.
Stuttering our way through.
you can see that Alex has done a good job of just blocking up that side for now. 2 dwarves on the backside.
Oh, I'm surprised he's brought the white back. I thought he might have pushed that into his other half.
I just put scaling against my scaling against Someone.
So I think Alex is trying to start off the 28
Could have been.
Yes.
turn score.
Enjoy the cookies.
I think, he's waiting till he's got the 4 re-rolls so he can be a bit more aggressive to be able to use one every single
Has he got
time.
4 now?
No, he's got 3.
He's got 3.
He's waiting to get 4.
Yes.
And then he's going to make
go
his
for
move.
it. Yeah. That's the smartest choice.
Obviously the story would be even more dramatic to have 4 rerolls and still not.
And not win the
Still
dice
put it
off.
in there.
Yeah. Or that would be something to bleat about.
Yes. Yeah.
So sorry, how does
So
third round sudden death work?
It's at the moment they're playing halves of 4. Whoever scores wins.
Oh yeah, Mike, I can see you've asked about who's controlling the laptop.
Halves of those.
We have got access to the
And then a dice roll, but they said they don't do that.
the
So
Twitch
keep playing.
chat stream, but Tim from Element Games is controlling the kind of tracking the ball and and the graphics. No,
There we go. So Matt's making a move
Yeah.
here to squash.
We'll sort of go for it, I
He's
think.
gone for it for is it either position or blow. I think for a
one
ball.
dice
He's got a
there.
push. So he's got a chain push there, by the looks of it.
yeah.
Is that a blitzer though? Wait, if it's a goal, there's no such thing as a chain push.
Oh yes, that was a golem. Yeah.
Just be people over there just applauding our commentary, which is very
Oh,
nice.
it's
of
not
them. I mean,
taken.
Oh
it's
yeah,
not
no,
fumbling early.
early
early
kind of him to
beginnings.
do so.
So, is that another push?
Has Alex chosen to not use stand firm?
There would be an extra go for it and potentially a half time. Oh!
And he's lured him in. That's what's called a frenzy trap.
Yeah.
Yep,
Is it okay though?
it's okay.
However, he does now have the ball.
But there's a little wall in front, isn't there? So
Yeah.
it's Alex capitalising on that in this set of 4 turns.
I think we've got one block from the guy in white in the middle. Oh, and another skill buff down from Alex, just to, as he always needs these things. So the guy with the white and the green skill ring, I think is the tackle white. If he can knock that dwarf down, I think that would create a huge gap.
That would be a big gap.
Yeah.
Is it worth taking a risk?
Yeah, Mike, Tim has got control of that cursor.
And he's not letting go. We type worse than we commentate, so you really don't want us to answer any questions or type anyway.
Mike,
We
Mike
did
was
try and get
suggesting
the
about
bounce
moving
in,
the
but he
cursors where we were
literally hit us
talking about.
away. So he's very controlling man.
Cursor doesn't show up anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, we have one. Oh, okay, there's one each. Okay.
So Alex now looks like he is putting some pressure on.
Yep.
So yeah, so he's now trying to open the hole up, I think.
And he's getting pushes, but he's not getting
I don't
any
think
traction
he wants to
there.
follow.
Nope.
No, he's going
Okay.
Question now is though he does have to plug that gap down the flank.
I think he may be able to blitz through and get a tag on the ball carrier, which should be enough.
So it seems that in the championship final, Dungeon Bowl, the Dark Elves managed to hold on. I don't know whether they scored a second touchdown, but they certainly held on till turn 16 to win it.
So Alex is now tag the ball carrier.
Yep, he's got it through.
Oh, double power.
So those goals have been pretty impressive.
They're getting
no, I think that was
a goal, wasn't it?
Yes.
See, once you develop your goals, you really they do act as secondary blitzers, don't they? Possibly even more important than the whites. So Matt moving into his third trimester. And we all know what happens after that. He's now got that marking player to worry about, but he does still potentially have the advantage on that flank.
Yeah.
So
I
he
think a
goes
big worry
straight
for
for the
them now is
blitz.
probably going to be Alex counter-scoring on him.
So we've definitely got at least one result to remove that guy from the ball.
Yeah,
So at least it's a push, yeah.
the other one is
sorry.
successful.
Oh, okay, that's handy.
Lovely.
That's very handy indeed, isn't it?
That looks to be. Oh, another one got off.
Oh, he's rerolled both.
He rolled them both.
Nope. So he's
So he did
right.
break the armour, so he just rolled for the injury. So that dwarf is moving.
Okay.
What's he leaving himself with there?
Oh.
Oh, he's just gone
Another
for
go
it.
for it. Another go for it. He's okay though. But the ball is loose.
Oh, he had to do that though to get in
Yeah,
range.
he
So
did. Brave play, and it's very unlikely. It's not impossible, but it's very unlikely that Alex will score.
well, I think with that stunned goal,
Well,
that's made it
depends.
harder.
Yeah.
No, is he stunned or is he wrestled down?
No, he rolled dice for that
Yeah,
goal,
yeah, he did. Yeah.
for the goal's armour.
But
Why is that dwarf on the floor? Is he just the way it looks?
I know that one's standing
Oh,
up.
it's just the angle of it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's quite a huge one.
Yeah,
then.
dwarves.
Oh, just a short
There you go. So he's got a white now moved into range.
So
So these won't go for it for the white to score.
Yep.
now Alex has got a Troll Slayer back, isn't it? Alex, sorry, Matt's got a Troll Slayer back. He's
Yeah.
got a little bit of coverage, depending
Not
how
broken there.
if any players go off the pitch in this turn. So plenty have exited the pitch in this game.
So the interesting now is who's going to be able to pick up the ball.
And will we ever go home?
I don't think we
Oh, he's-
will.
he's-
Yeah,
he's
so this is the white. No, the white's
Oh, no.
going to cover.
So he's
thought it was pick up
well,
for a
he's tackle white guarding the ball there.
So I think
Is he just deciding? Is he gonna try and wait for the goal to do it next turn, or is he? Well, I think he might well be Alex
he may try and do it with
playing
the,
out again.
Oh, okay.
No,
That's helpful, isn't it? It's, again, just opening.
I think he's probably going to go for a handoff or a pass
Yeah,
with
he's
the
open the corridor there, isn't he?
the white next turn.
Yeah.
as would look at
So
as
he's
the
going. He is going for the ball,
corridor of uncertainty. And then the pass, is that?
probing with the sausage
Oh, yes,
of
that is
decision.
rule there. Yeah, so I think it's the pass. So the dodge is out. So it's a
dodge.
failed
He's failed. Use the T reroll because he's obviously got
one's
tackle
gone.
in there.
Oh, that's
Okay.
He's got sure hands on this, I think, hasn't he?
He's only rolled 1 dice, isn't he? He's got it
He's done the dodge.
though. No, let's pick up.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, no, yeah, he's rolled. Yeah, he did the
So
dodge.
the question is
He's
now,
done
he's
one
used the
dice,
reroll. Is he
I think I would still try for the pass.
I would hear.
Yeah,
like,
get it away from
the
yeah,
Dwarfs
into
can't
the other
score.
half.
And it might open things
And
up.
so on a one,
Currently a
it's
short
bad.
pass, isn't
And
it?
there's no intercept available, is there?
No.
So,
So I think Alex is now deciding whether to go for it or just hold it back. I think he's looking to hold it back for one more turn. Worried about
Worried-
it more.
Yeah. Yeah, and he can't protect himself from that free Troll Slayer, but it's whether or not you want to try and move the ball now or risk the fumble.
yeah.
I would be tempted to get that ball into the dwarf half.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at the
No-
moment he's worried about the ball carrier being blitzed by the
Yeah.
Troll Slayer, but
But if you
target,
change up the ball, change the target.
you would just take the guy who can score, and if he can't score, then it's
Yeah.
game over.
So he's gone for it.
And he has
He's
gone
gone
for
for.
So he needs a 3+. Oh, it's a fumble.
Oh no,
Okay.
that was a dodge, I think.
Oh yes, that was right.
Okay, so
But at least the ball is further away from his own end
And
zone.
Matt still has to remove that player.
Well, Matt can't score now because that runner went down.
I think
Yeah.
Matt, everything clearly, would just try and sort out the right who can score, because it doesn't matter
That's
about
it.
anybody else now. It's just he's the one who can score.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's
here we've got some pushing on the golem, is it?
Yeah. So yeah, that was just maybe to try and get a.
Is this Matt's turn 3 or turn 4?
This is Matt's
Turn
turn
for 4, he received this half. Okay,
So yeah, so he wants to look to be able to push him backwards.
Yep.
oh, it's just tagged him.
Okay, so.
Oh no, I think
that's-
Alex he's just asked the question, I think.
Yeah,
So maybe he's going to blitz at the top of the screen and bring the other guy back.
possibly.
Yeah, he stood 2 up, didn't he? Although, Alex has got a free ghoul at the back, hasn't he? To go and pick the ball up. Is that a ghoul?
It's a white.
That's a white.
That's a white.
That's a white.
So he's got a white there.
He's no longer free.
Yeah, it's a sensible play.
So is that runner in scoring distance? Oh, this is turn 4, so it doesn't matter.
It's turn 4, yeah. So this is all down to Alex now. If he can
Yep.
score or not.
So,
So Matt's thinking here. So he's gone through the army.
he's stunned. That's helpful, though, isn't it? Just an extra
Absolutely,
irritation.
absolutely.
So he's got.
It's of absolutely no consequence at this point to it. Just it. So I think he's risking maybe to dodge out for it. Oh, yeah, he's going for
Yep.
2+.
Well, I don't think that's worked.
Oh no.
The 2.
Okay.
Right, so it's on for Alex.
And he's got a reroll. He's got rerolls in hand still.
Here we
He's
go.
going for a blitz. Score both down.
That's got what I wanted.
Score both down.
See Alex's pace picking up now. as
Yeah,
The adrenaline's kicking in, so he's going for a 3+ handoff.
yeah, no point risking anything else.
Yep.
So he's made the handoff
So
and
it's
he
just
can
the
go
big-
for it. The big
Go for it to score.
Barney TM
Spuds
check. Oh, and he's made it.
Oh,
He's crossed the line.
Well, what a final. Well,
What a final.
congratulations to Alex. A 3-2 victory.
3-2
Players over you, though.
in the 3rd period of overtime.
Can do, yeah.
That was very
And we're
good.
just going to get the players over to do a little bit of post-match.
That's post-match undressing,
See if,
not,
see if they're in a position.
not analysis. I think you've got to say that's a big congratulations to Alex, the Ringbeard Barboneau,
Yes.
on what has been an extremely successful Blood Bowling season for him.
Yeah, and very professionally played out
Yep,
final.
I think so. Unfortunately, the People's Champion, Matt, didn't quite make it. There's a lot of pressure on the shoulders.
Yeah.
Alex,
And we can only say big congratulations to Matt for making the final.
A shot of something that's going to surprise
So
you.
here's the champ, Alex
Here he
B.
is.
So how were you feeling going into overtime and kicking to Matt?
Tired and emotional.
How's decorating going?
Yeah,
You
great.
going well?
I'm
Yeah.
still covered in white paint.
We'll just talk about paint colours choices.
Yeah, sure. So I've gone with
Palettes
a kind of pastel palette.
Beautiful, beautiful.
In the first half, were you surprised that Matt scored when he did?
What you mean in turn 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your player got stunned on the go for it to tag him.
Yeah.
Seemed he was
I
able
think, yeah,
to-
he maybe could have stalled it out for one more turn,
Yeah.
but then I stalled till turn 7, and look what happened there. Like, he scored very easily in 2 with no rerolls. So
That's true.
yeah, I guess you never know, do you? Like, yeah, it would have been. I think in his position, I maybe would have stalled and tried to score in turn 6, 7, but you never
Yeah.
know. I think I still had a couple of goals that could have. I can't really remember the situation, but yeah.
We had at that point you had one off the pitch, definitely, and
Yeah,
then two in the KO box.
Oh, yeah, I'd lost the Mighty Blow Wolf, which is
early on.
a heavy blow, and I'd lost the. And I'd lost the tackle guard white, so yeah, I was struggling a bit then. Yeah, I think I got pretty lucky to equalise in turn 8 because I think it was a 2-die uphill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one I sculled, the next one I got pushed power,
Yeah.
and I made the dodge with dodge. But yeah, it's pretty lucky.
So, did you make any regens?
I think one
Yeah,
zombie.
one.
Yeah,
one zombie,
both
yeah.
wolves failed,
Yeah.
and quite a few zombies failed as well.
Listen to
Yeah, it was a pretty brutal match actually, but I guess it's
yeah.
just because it's more turns than normal.
Yeah.
But I got very lucky breaking his armour, and I think it was like the second half of extra time. Took out like 3 or 4 guys.
I was
straight
quite
away.
surprised actually in the very first.
Oh, thank you. I've just been handed a purple drink, so a shot of which smells like regret. So if I suddenly keel over and die, cheers. Here's to
Well done.
here's to the double.
In your
Well
first set of overtime when you received,
Oh God.
I was quite surprised that you didn't try and score, where you sort of went into the centre. I thought you had.
I literally had just forgotten it was extra time.
We did wonder. We didn't wonder.
So I looked over to my turn counter thinking, okay, yeah, it's turn 3 or 4, I've passed the halfway line, I'm doing quite well. Oh, I've only got 4 turns to score. So that was just a mistake due to tiredness.
Yeah, we were really surprised. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was thinking you might have done a hand off to a ghoul. Do a
Yeah, well,
two-piece dodge and
originally,
just run.
so I started the turn with a block. It was white on Longbeard, hoping to
Yeah.
either get a push so I could blitz further ahead, but I just got both down.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of derailed my thinking, and I'd sort of forgotten I was going to push forward. But yeah, that was just literally a mistake.
Did,
so.
we were looking at you did to draw quite a lot of push both downs at key moments, so double
Yeah,
both downs. When
and there was actually, because normally I would never re-roll one. I think there was one early on. I think maybe with a wolf or something, I did re-roll both down, literally just because it was positional, which I normally never do, but I think it was really worth it. I was also quite frustrated whenever I hit his ball carrier. I don't think I ever got his ball carrier down.
No, I
really.
don't think
So
so.
the first time I hit him,
Dart pushes, yeah.
yeah, I hit him. I couldn't get his blodge down. Then I could have opted to take the 2 dice on him again, but it would have left, like I was saying to you earlier,
Yeah.
would have left my wolf tagged by 3 mighty blow,
I
and,
was wondering
and
if
he
you
could
were
have got
maybe
surfed. I
gone
think so.
pushed the other way and taken a 1 dice at the second hit, but again,
Yeah,
that's
but
risky.
needing a
isn't it?
POW because he was a blodger.
Right, okay,
and also,
gotcha.
the thing I don't like about that is my wolf is then 2 squares
For
from the
counter
edge,
surf.
and all he would need for a counter surf is to blitz the wolf next to the runner, block behind him, and just push him off. So I thought it was a bit risky.
Yeah, you're right. It's quite risky, isn't it?
So, double champion, 2 titles.
Yeah.
Expect a bounty on your head for next season.
Well, I've got to play crap team next season.
What are
now,
you going to
haven't
pull
I?
out the bag for next season?
Well, I think just to put the pressure off me, I'll probably take a really rubbish team, so so no one can say, "Oh, Core beat you in the final."
Yeah.
So I'm thinking you're going to go with Dark Elf next year. That's my prediction.
I was going to in the Premier originally, but then I've seen quite a lot of people are taking Dark Elves, so I might change it. In the
Popular team at the moment.
Yeah, in the vets, I'm going to go Underworld, I think. So I've not decided. Maybe I'll go something a bit spicy in the Prem, something a bit unusual. Maybe something like High Elves, something I've not tried before.
Interesting. So I think you're going to have a few more people looking out for your performances next season.
Well, they'll probably be disappointed. I think a big thing was that I got very lucky with my team development. Like it sort of almost developed exactly how you'd want it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So you've got
Both teams were.
Yeah, his team was
Bob
very
weren't
nice.
they?
Yeah, it was very tough playing against those 2 strength 4 ones, both from Mighty Blow, because it sort of means you can't think where the blitz is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he played really well to score in 2. That turn was just incredible. I just
Yeah,
couldn't believe my eyes. It was like pick up with a blitzer, hand off, pass in very sunny, catch, 2 go for it, tag up everyone, and suddenly I was in real trouble.
Yeah, yeah,
And I got
you were.
I got 4 dice on him, but it was just all pushes. So yeah, it was really well played.
And then back into normal time, it seems like both of you went from really good positions to really terrible positions very quickly.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
quickly.
But then again, in your because in your first half, his first half when he received it, we thought you had him all over. There was dwarfs just everywhere tagged up. Then all of a sudden there was a click of a finger.
Yeah, it was that
he
one turn,
just-
wasn't
yeah.
it? So it was when I had him tagged. It was when the turn he killed my wolf. I
Yeah,
think.
that's
I
it, yeah.
had his ball carrier tagged with my blodge wolf and blodge ghoul. Wasn't expecting him. I was expecting him to blitz to get the ball carrier free, but he didn't. He blitzed and killed my wolf, which then allowed him to block the ghoul away. I think he knocked him out as well, and then just suddenly dodged away with his ball carrier and was just suddenly in a really great position.
Yeah,
but
weren't expecting
I know.
it.
I wasn't expecting. I think it was quite bad by me. I should have really maybe left a sweeper behind. Oh right, cool. Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
So I think we're gonna wrap this up.
So I think we are wrapping it up.
Yeah, because
As both finals have been finished now, we've got our titles decided. We've just got some very impatient and excited Blood Bowlers waiting to get their hands on some
I'm gonna go.
grubby little prizes.
I'm gonna go and prepare my arms for lifting all this silver.
yeah. So thanks for tuning in, and yeah,
And thanks to Element Games for hosting.
yeah, thanks for our games,
Yeah,
and we'll hopefully see you next time.
and enjoy your crumpets.
Yes, enjoy your crumpets wherever you
If
are.
there's any left.
And hi to Dan's mum again.
Once you've done the awards, we'll get some photos with
That's great.